Y'all ready? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the New York born, Las Vegas made, always getting paid, with the Usain Bolt fast, the one to beat, but good luck with that. The man who never sleeps, and neither does his podcast. The notorious, the glorious, can do everything except Boris. Has the funniest jokes. Is always woke. The podcast GOAT. The man with the plan. AKA your host, Killer Cam. Now kick back in your seat and we welcome you to the podcast that never sleeps. Killer Cam. And witness greatness.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast Never Sleeps. I'm your host, Killer Cam, aka your boy. And with me always is the handsome and always knowledgeable Ja Resurrector.
It's also
the fucking
That's the best. It's almost part of the show now.
Yeah. So I need to switch those colors. The colors are too similar. So
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering. I was like, it never happened.
It never happened before.
Yeah.
So I added that Total Banger one.
Okay.
And the colors like so similar. And I have like 4 pages of drops now.
Yeah, you have
so
a
if
lot.
I go to the page, I'm like, oh, there's yellow. Boom. But I have 3 different shades of yellow.
Yeah,
There's just
okay.
only 2 that are on the top right.
Oh, that's funny.
So guys, welcome back to the show. Today we got a super fun episode planned for ye.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, I'm excited. This is the most I've been excited for a topic in a long time.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Because it's crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
It's something that
freaking
I didn't even know a lot about.
Yeah, same. Little bits and pieces here and there.
Well, I don't know. In our production call, you dropped like 6 hours of knowledge. So I don't know. You knew a little bit about it.
Well, yeah, but dude, oh man, when I was diving into this, I was like, this is everything. It's all tied to everything. Everything we've talked about on this show up to this point. There's so much.
So just tell the people, Jared, tell the people. Leave them in limbo no longer. Tell the people what it is.
Yes, so today we're going to be talking about what do we want to call this, actually?
I like the creepy, but we could do...
Creepy Hollow. Creepy Hollow Earth. The Inner Earth Theory.
Yeah.
The Hollow Earth Theory. The Agartha. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be diving in to the Hollow Earth Theory.
Cool.
Yeah, I like this.
Claps? Laughter? So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. I still don't know a lot about it, and I want to hear all the deets. I want the goods.
Oh man,
I want to hear it all.
this is exciting. This one's really exciting. Like I said, there's like I mean, all the fun stuff on YouTube out there, all the cool little stories you hear, these crazy little mysteries around the world. If anything ties all of them up into a nice bow and says this is really what we're looking at,
Then this is
that freaking story, man. This is it. So yeah, I'm excited to dive into it with you.
So before we get there,
Yeah.
there's one thing we got to do.
Oh yeah.
There's one thing that
We gots to do it.
we got to do it, and it's of uber importance. And you know what it is?
Tell me.
It's the fucking. Ooh, I almost got there. No, I didn't. It's the freaking Marvel Minute.
Yeah. I love the Marvel Minute.
Yeah, it's
This
a
is
great logo.
fun.
So we need to update that logo now that we have so much more.
You're right.
episodes
Yeah,
and
let's do
stuff.
that.
So for this Marvel Minute, I went and I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3 without you because you're a bum.
Yeah, it's hard with the baby, but I'm so glad you did.
Excuses.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, so not all I was hoping it to be.
Oh, I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting that.
I know, me either.
Because every single one of those, and
Are
even
great.
when they're in other movies, they just shine.
And
they are
even
so good.
before I went to see this one,
Yeah.
I was told, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy is like one of my favorite MCU movies.
Yeah.
This is the best of the 3.
Cool. But you don't think so? Well, you and I have been disagreeing a lot on this stuff lately. I keep getting excited about stuff, and then you're like, but I'm like, whoa,
Whoa.
yeah.
Yeah, man. So there was some things, some beats that I wanted it to hit because it's wrapping up, and it didn't hit certain beats. And Adam Warlock was a total shoe-in. Wasn't like it wasn't organic how he was introduced. It was totally like a shoe-in.
Yeah, because we knew he was coming since the end of Guardians 2. The after credit scene, they teed it up. Yeah, and said, "Here we go, get ready, guys. Someone's
and just
coming
threw him
for
in.
you."
He had nothing to do for 90% of the movie. It was rough. But,
was it kind of like a Vision type thing? Well, don't give me anything away because I really do want to watch this movie soon.
In the sense where he was born yesterday type of thing.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Okay.
I think Vision's way better written.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And just like that, even that he never had his moment where he like talked to Ultron and he's like, I know, but I was just born yesterday, where he like, totally goes off.
Crap.
It's a great
Adam Warlock's a cool
monologue.
character though. So that sucks. The actor disappointed me, but
I don't know why they
hoping
chose him. Just a weird choice. Even watching the movie, I'm like, weird. But
well,
they were going for a little more comedy than I thought with Warlock.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense. Because you get the comedy from the Guardians already.
That's it.
They're good.
And this starts, the opening is a little long, but it's cool. It's just a one shot of Rocket walking through nowhere.
Cool.
And that's like their new home base, as we saw in the holiday special. So that was super cool. And Radiohead's Creep was playing. And so they don't just do 80 songs now because he has that Zune.
Yeah.
It goes up to the 2000s.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
That song came out like 92 or something.
That's cool that they did that.
It was like an acoustic version of Creep. It was a cool version.
Oh, yeah.
It was cool.
I like that song.
And it's, fitting for the movie. He thinks, I didn't ask to be ripped apart and put back together like some little monster, whatever. So the guy calling himself a creep and a loser.
Yeah.
I'm a creep. Yeah. It's fitting.
Weirdo.
And then it goes and it shows Quill. We saw this in the trailer. That's the only reason I'm mentioning it.
Yeah.
It goes and shows Quill all drunk, He's like, hey, give that back. So they're both creeps and losers. And so James Gunn said the first movie is about the mother. The second movie is about the father. The third movie is about the self.
Okay.
So you haven't seen the third movie yet.
Right.
But clearly, the second movie being about the father, it's perfect. They actually wanted to kill Gamora. He wanted to kill Gamora in the second movie, have her like do a sacrifice play, sort of like Yondu did, but switched it to Yondu, which is more fitting, especially if the movie's about the father.
And we knew that we were going to get her back anyway, right? In Endgame.
Well, he didn't know that they
didn't
wanted
tell
to
him
kill
that
her.
info. Okay.
They didn't know that far ahead.
Okay.
But then but then we got Yondu dying, who's totally the father. He may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy.
Yeah, that's a
Great
good lie.
Michael Rooker, who makes a quick appearance in this movie, which was cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
He was also in cartoon form in the Christmas.
Yeah. I didn't like that they did the cartoon. It's just like you couldn't get the actor for a day or two. Anyway, the kid's maybe too old.
Flashback.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was silly though. But it's a holiday special, I guess.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
If they did
Geared
claymation,
towards
that would have been
kids.
sick.
Yeah, that would have made more sense.
Made way more sense.
Yeah, for the holiday.
But so the first movie being about the mother.
Yeah.
So his mother, obviously that's like the beginning of the movie, right?
Right.
He goes and he won't grab his mom's hand because it's like, oh, she's saying bye. If I grab her hand, that's an admission of that I lost, that
Saying
we're giving
goodbye
up
to her, yeah. And then he runs off.
So he runs
Yeah.
off. And then later he goes and when he's holding the Power Stone.
Right, he sees her.
And Gamora's reaching out and he sees his mom. Very sweet, good moment.
Yeah.
So about the mother. Number 2, clearly about the father.
Oh, that's all, yeah.
And the third is about the self.
Okay.
But they said, and James Gunn has been saying this, that Rocket is the secret protagonist of this series.
Okay, of the series.
Yeah.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very prominently featured, and some of those moments of his are amazing, and even the way that he won't let his friends die at the end of the second one, how he shuts the door and makes that call to either they're going to make it or they're not, but I'm not losing any more friends today.
Yeah.
Yeah. He calls himself the captain in Infinity War and makes his own decision.
And in 2, or is it 1 or 2 where he's like, I was genetically engineered to fly the ship, because he's like, you need the best pilot in the galaxy. He's
Yeah.
like, Thankfully, Wade Dill.
Yeah, that's
and
the best,
he switches the gears over to him. TBRM, what up?
Hey there. Welcome to the show.
But so yeah, I liked the rocket stuff. We saw a lot in the trailer. My only other thing that I'll say right now, pre-spoilers, is a lot of exposition dumps, not done in a clever, like, sneaky way. Just straight like that scene in the elevator was the best they did that whole time, and that's not even good. So yeah, she was my girlfriend. Then she got thrown off a magic cliff, and everyone in the past who died stayed dead, but she came back. Was the magic cliff? I don't know. That's some Infinity Stone scientist.
Like the Iron Man 3 thing?
Sorta,
hey, what's going on, D? Livewire.
D Live?
Welcome to the show. We're talking Marvel Minute, talking Guardians of the Galaxy 3, just dropped in theaters. Cameron saw it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. It was
but I'm still excited for it.
That hallway fight that it shows in the trailer.
Yeah.
So cool.
Cool.
So cool. It shows how they're a team. They use their teamwork to do everything.
How to
swing
do
off
their thing.
Groot's branch, goes in the kick. You got Rocket back jumping on his back again. Super cool stuff.
And now they've been doing it a long time together, so there's like a rhythm to it, which is cool.
Something that I remembered watching the movie, and I'm like, oh yeah, was everybody else got dusted except Nebula and Rocket. So they have like a secret, like a bond that the rest don't have.
Definitely.
And
you see it in Endgame and Infinity War.
For sure. And because Quill is dusted and all that, in this movie specifically, because he's like drunk and missing Gamora and everything after coming back, she sort of becomes like the de facto leader in a way.
Oh, okay.
It's cool.
Yeah, she's great. I mean,
she's
who would
so
have
good.
thought that she would become such a cool?
Can I tell you?
Good guy.
Yeah, I know. Can I tell you the best? So the best part of her character is this guy asked all the crew, all the cast when they were doing their rounds. They're like, what was the greatest piece of direction you've ever gotten? Yeah. And people have a few different answers. Palm Clemente has one from some French director, some probably. Yeah. And then they get to Karen Gillian, and they're like, she's like, it's from James Gunn with her Scottish accent. Okay. Actually, it was from James. She's like, she asked, how should the character talk? Yeah. Because she was sort of trying to do like this badass. Like, what's up, motherfuckers? Freakers. Yeah. And she was trying to do this like badass thing. And then James Gunn is like, her voice, it's Marilyn Monroe meets Clint Eastwood. Cool. And that is cool direction. She said that informed my entire character. How I walked, how I talked, how I moved, how I acted. And that's exactly... you're leaving out some key details, but that's the gist of it. Like very Monroe, like with her deeper voice, her raspy voice. Yeah. And then obviously Eastwood, the badass part, right? Yeah. So I thought that was
very
perfect.
Eastwood, yeah. Especially in the second one.
Oh my God, that's exactly how you explain. It's not ripe. It's Marilyn Monroe meets Clint Eastwood. Yeah. It's the greatest thing ever.
I like that. It's a cool little piece of knowledge there. Yeah.
Little nugget of knowledge. Nudge. Nudge nog.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. Anyway, that's the freaking Marvel Minute, dude.
Freaking Marvel Minute, man.
Because we're the freaking Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was cool.
But he didn't say friggin'.
Yeah.
Oh, also James Gunn came out and said that like 90% of what Groot says in those movies are like curse words or...
I would imagine so. I love how they get
I am Groot. Whoa! Yeah. And then everyone's like, whoa. And Drax's like, wow. Yeah. Like, good God. Like, what's wrong with you?
Especially because he takes things literally. Yeah. So imagine what he's thinking. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Just to be like, yikes. That's true. Yeah. Because he takes stuff literally. Yeah. He's, you got some real sap in those stones, whatever he says.
Yeah. You got some sap on you.
Yeah. That's so good. He must have said something horrible. So great.
Freaking great.
So anyway, let's get back to business.
To business. We did this already.
I know. See, I looked over at you to see if you were going to do it again. We got to do the other one.
Yeah.
A man falls asleep in front of a television.
Yeah.
He has a dream.
Later.
He wakes up in front of the television.
But can't remember his dream.
Well said.
Yeah.
All right, to other business.
Yeah.
And then we'll know what we'll do for the next episode.
Those are what good movies, man! I can't wait till we can talk 13. About those in some capacity.
By the way, the what was it? Albert Finney line. What was it to Catherine Zeta-Jones? For the house.
Yeah,
it's
for
Ocean's
the-
12. Now I said Ocean's 13.
12, yeah.
It's Ocean's 12.
Yeah.
We both knew that.
You
but-
just said 13 again. It's 12. You just said 13 again, but it's 12.
Yeah.
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 It's all that stuff, good stuff's from 12. I love that
Yeah.
freaking one.
12's
yeah.
the best.
Yeah, it is.
12's the best.
Yeah.
And we decided that because we have the Night Fox and we have Terry.
Yeah, but the Night Fox is like weak
great.
sauce.
Oh, and
In the
13?
Yeah, and 13.
Yeah.
Give me the diamonds.
That was the funniest thing. You did the usual suspects.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
He does, yeah. I
Fucking
don't know.
diamonds.
This guy was laser dancing.
Yeah,
in the
he was-
in the first one, and then he's like, "Give me the diamond."
Yeah, a whole team couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what informs his character later. Is this whole team can't beat him, and then he gets beat, so he's like,
Whatever. Yeah.
yeah, he's
I've
like,
got
I'm not gonna
Terry
try to
on my
outsmart
side.
him. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to outsmart him anymore. I'm just gonna.
Give me the diamonds. I'm just jump off.
I'm gonna
this.
be a blunt object instead of
Build
a,
it. Yeah.
a razor blade, right?
Maybe so. But yeah. So do you want to kick us off? What do you want to do? There's a good kick.
Yeah, and that's the end of my bit.
That's a good segment.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
So no, we're gonna do this a little differently this time.
Okay.
We're not gonna go segment for segment.
Okay.
So there's a lot of information
Yes.
that I am
Ton of
curious to hear about,
Yeah.
that I'm excited to hear about.
Okay.
That I'm looking forward to hear about. So I sort of want you to talk to me, and I'll ask the questions that the audience maybe can't when
Okay.
they're watching this back.
Yeah. So we can just go directly into Inner Earth then.
Let's
because,
just jump.
Yeah, I know we were gonna get there, but there's so much here. You're right. We
So-
can just
and we'll stop, have
Yeah.
a quick jokey break, whatever we do, and then yeah.
So, Inner Earth.
business.
I don't know how much you've heard about this subject. You said you heard very little. And to the audience out there, the
all you
Hollow
lovers
Earth
out
theory, this isn't like the Flat Earth theory, right? This is something completely different. This is based on ancient text, ancient religions, ancient knowledge. On this show, we've discussed the flood myth that every civilization around the world
has in common. They
Yeah.
all ancient civilizations. Let's catch anybody up. who
Yeah.
hasn't been watching. So basically, if I'm not mistaken,
Right.
all of these ancient civilizations, from ancient China to ancient Egypt to
Right.
Babylon, I don't know how far back it goes, but they all have a cataclysm happening.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
You've got
in their
so you got
history.
Native Americans. You have North and South America. You have Indonesia. You have ancient Egypt. You have Greece. You have literally every ancient culture around the world tells of a story when the Earth was flooded by water
Yep.
that rose the sea level 400 feet, which wiped out entire continents, wiped out entire land masses, and almost wiped out all of mankind entirely.
But they went and hid in Earth. Anyway, next up.
So there's these disparate groups of human beings that survived this, and where the story starts to come in is the story of their society being rebooted by groups of people that would come to them, and they always referred to them as gods. Gods would come to them from the sea or from outside of the earth, and they would show them how to do
from inside of the Earth.
some cases, yeah. So it wasn't always by sea, right? Because not everybody lived by an ocean. A lot of inland cultures say that these gods came out of the earth or would come by boats without sails and teach them law and order, astronomy, agriculture, and really help them begin or restore civilization again in these disparate areas around the world. So all these cultures have a flood myth, but all these cultures also have an inner earth story. They all talk about a place that's below our feet that is, and one of these examples is the Garden of Eden, right? To give you an idea, it is heaven on earth. There is this city underneath us. Yeah.
Who said that?
So that's
What civilization?
Well, that's the ancient Jewish belief, is that the Garden of Eden is in what's called the Cave of the Patriarch. And you can visit the Cave of the Patriarch. There's or Tomb of the Patriarch, where Abraham is said to have laid to rest there, and you can visit it, but they don't allow any excavation. There are tunnels that go deep in the Cave of the Patriarch, and we'll dive into that later. But all ancient religions have this story of a magical city with a magical people ruled by a malevolent king who they have superpowers. They never die. They can live forever. And they come out and they've either helped save people from this massive cataclysm or might have come out to reboot their society around the world.
Yeah.
But they all have this story.
I heard this crazy theory.
Yeah.
It's only crazy because I guess you'll hear. So this guy was talking about these, he said they have, that year, like thousands of years ago, people were able to live like infinitely longer than we could.
Well, even in the Bible, yeah, we have stories
like 900.
Some of the characters are
and stuff.
1,000 years old.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like Noah was supposed to be like 900 years old or something, right?
Yeah.
So his thought was that, and I forget all the specifics. It was a huge, long like TED talk.
Okay.
And he was saying that you take somebody back when, whatever, scientists took like our genes and capped this one thing in our chromosomes or whatever that is like regenerative. Mm-hmm. And he capped it so that we would only have, a lifespan is so long. So we couldn't overthrow kingdoms or governments because we wouldn't have the knowledge because we wouldn't live long enough to gain enough knowledge to be able to, be godlike, to be,
Evidence of that comes from Sumerian texts. The Sumerians, and we first hear about the Sumerians some 4,000, 6,000 years ago. But there are still these tablets and texts that exist today in museums. And it's not disputed by any of these historians of what they say. They tell the story very clearly that travelers from space, from the sky, that were gods, come down to mine gold. Gold from this planet. That's what they wanted. They wanted gold. They start doing the work themselves and they decide this is too much work. So they mix their DNA, with the DNA of a native
Chase
creature.
Mack, my boy, what up?
And they create human beings to do the work for them. But human beings, they start procreating on their own, and they start leaving and creating their own societies, and they get out of control. And so I could see that them wanting to cap a lifespan, because then you would have these beings they're overpopulation like crazy.
Yeah, these guys are the worst. Right. There is a great line in Guardians 3. It's even in the trailer. A lot of the good stuff's in the trailer, unfortunately.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, but
I don't watch trailers though, so that's good.
Yeah.
I really saw the teaser and that's it.
Yeah, I saw everything. I even saw clips that were released. I saw way too much. I didn't realize they showed all the best parts. But anyway, what was I talking about?
I don't know.
Guardians 3. Oh, it's a cool line. He's like, I visited your planet once, Earth. And he's like, Earth hasn't been my planet for a long time, buddy. Whatever. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, music and culture. It's amazing. You have some of the best literature in all of the galaxy. Yeah. Except he's like, and it would be a great society if it wasn't for your bigotry and like something else. And he's like, whoa, it's so good.
That's funny.
Yeah, if it wasn't for your like inflated egos and bigotry.
Yeah, it's the whole isolationism theory that groups of people kept to themselves, right? Instead of versus diffusionism, where these groups of people in these ancient civilizations, they all kept to themselves instead of spreading out and learning from each other. And the more we learn about our history, the less that is true. We weren't all isolationists. There was diffusionism. There was a mixture of ideas. And that's funny you bring it up, because that goes to the very heart of the inner Earth theory that we're going to talk about today.
No pun intended.
Right? So Agartha, if you're looking into inner Earth, that is what it's called.
It was Agartha all along.
Agartha is the name of the of inner Earth. And I have a map here for you, and I think this is a really cool graphic, and we can keep that up there while we're talking about it for a few here. So take a look. So this shows, obviously, on the outside there, that is the surface world, and then Agartha is inside. Agartha was called the land of 1,000 names, because all of these cultures called it something else. Some of the names it goes by.
So who named it a land of 1,000 names?
The Chinese. So the ancient Chinese called it the land of 1,000 names.
That sounds like a Chinese. The land of 1,000 names. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And they all agree that it's that where it's located is all in the same general area. But other names for it are Shangri-La,
Of course.
Shambala,
Shambhala.
the Garden of Eden. There's a few others, depending on what part of the world you're in. But those are the really popular names that I'm sure our audience has heard some of these before.
The lost city of El Dorado.
No, but what's interesting about some of these mythical sites like that, these lost cities that no one has still found, and there's plenty of them. There's plenty of them that we haven't found yet, especially in South America. Is that a lot of them are entrances to inner Earth. And that's why they're hidden so well, and that's why they're guarded. And that's why the native peoples will never give up the location. It is a holy place to them. And the outsiders are not allowed to use these entrances. And people that try usually end up dead. The Guardians don't let you in.
The Guardians of the
Inner Earth, yeah.
Of the inner Earth entrances. Because we're the freaking Guardians of the inner Earth entrances.
Buddhists are the big ones here.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say, so what El Dorado, here was the misconception.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So here's why everybody thought there was the city of gold out there, right? So in like Colombia, Aztecs, way back, right? Mm-hmm. There was this ceremony they would do where they would take the king and they would paint him gold.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And they would put him on a raft with all of these trinkets and little cool little things, right?
Yep.
And these cool little statues they made for him and all this cool stuff, right?
Yeah.
Gold coins and all this dope stuff.
Yeah.
And but they didn't find gold to have any monetary value.
Right.
They just thought it was beautiful and made cool trinkets.
It was for ceremonial purposes.
It was ceremonial.
Yeah.
And and hence the story. So they would go into the middle of the lake. The king would jump off into the lake and wash himself. And as he washed himself, his like followers would take all these trinkets and stuff and throw it in the ocean.
Yeah. Or into the, I think it was a lake.
Lake.
Yeah.
I've been saying lake the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they throw it into the lake. And so then this story got out.
Yeah.
And it got extrapolated and, hyperbolized. And it became not just a human being painted gold, but the king sat on a gold throne. No, not just a gold throne. The whole city was gold.
Okay.
Not even the city was gold.
Of
It
course.
was, the streets are paved in gold.
Right.
And so every year it was a game of telephone. And it just became crazier and bigger and more nuts.
Yeah.
And to the point where they even drained the lake.
Yes.
And
well, to an extent, I thought the government.
So, well, check it out.
Yeah.
So they drained the lake and they got to a point where they were like halfway there and the mud was so soft that it hardened, right? And closed up the little entrance that they made to the ocean.
Right.
So that the lake couldn't go out anymore.
Yeah.
And then so the lake filled right back up. And then the Colombian government said, this is protected property, this is protected land. And now nobody can ever go near it again.
Yeah.
But they did find gold trinkets and stuff.
Heck yeah.
When they excavated.
Yeah, they won't let you do anything there, which is so annoying. I would love to see what they have.
More quick story.
Yeah.
This poor guy. So sad, this story. So there's this treasure hunter.
Okay.
And he goes up to this guy, his friend, and he's like, I know where this Spanish ship went down, and it's supposed to have like unspoken riches on it. He's like, and I know where it is.
Okay.
And so he's like, okay, well.
Sounds like a good plan to me. Yeah, I'm
so
down.
He's like, I got this. And he's like, all right, let's do it. So they go and he's like, it's going to be here. So they go and he's a spear fisherman and he dives and everything. And he goes and he finds a little coin. He's like, I knew it.
Yeah.
This is the spot.
Yep.
And this isn't a rich man. He has humble means.
Shoot.
So he puts together every dollar he has.
Yeah.
And he excavates this area.
Yeah.
And he finds the ship.
Cool.
And it has a chest on it with gold coins up the wazoo.
Nice.
Like $10 million worth of. And
was this off the coast of Florida or something?
Yeah.
That's usually where they find these, yeah.
And he goes and he's like, dude, this is it. I did it. I knew what it was. I had the information. I spent the money and the time and I freaking did it. He goes to the airport, declares it. They confiscate all of it, give him like 3 gold pieces.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah, that's not how you
Bye
do
now.
it, right?
Bye-bye.
He did it wrong.
No, they do it wrong. That's messed up.
Well, it is the property of whatever local government you find it on. You have to get permits in order to search for this stuff and get permission, and then a percentage of it is awarded to you, and the rest is the property of And that's only if you have the permits. So if you don't do it right,
they're like, hey,
you don't get
here you
anything.
go, kid.
Exactly. That's so frustrating.
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh, yeah,
But
that
hey,
sucks.
that goes to show you, smuggle it through black market means.
I would have. I think what he did sounds insane.
Yeah,
to
that's
just
nuts.
try and walk through
So
an
here's
airport
my
with gold.
my big box of gold.
Yeah.
Declare, please, I'm flying in from you.
Yeah, what are
Like,
you crazy,
what?
dude? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So that is
He
a
was
sad story, but it's stupid too.
He was stupid. He was trying to follow the rules, I guess. I don't know.
It sounds silly.
I would have been like, you see these 2 gold coins?
Yeah.
You know that little that boat you have?
Yeah.
Let me take you take me to
Yeah.
the coastline.
There's a
of
billion
whatever
other
the
ways you could have
fudge.
done it in separate runs. And yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Or just go get the freaking permit if you really know
Yeah.
where it is. That sucks.
Well, he paid a bunch of money. He paid a bunch of money for the excavation equipment and stuff. So nice, put a little aside for either to bribe somebody at the border,
Maybe,
or whatever,
yeah.
or just pay for the payments.
Yeah.
But
Just
I don't know how it works. It's still property of that government.
Of course. Yeah. That's why a lot of treasure hunters, they have their ways of doing this.
Yeah, black market mines.
But so yeah, no, that's a cool little story, a little factoid there about El Dorado.
Yeah.
But so if you want to throw that graphic back up, so Agartha, it's
No, that's not.
it's said to be it's said that the entrance and Shambhala itself, one of the cities of Inner Earth, is located in the Himalayan mountains. And this is agreed upon by most Eastern cultures. They didn't say, "Oh, it's here where we are." They all agreed. That's where it is. It's in the Himalayan mountains. The story of why it's hidden and why it's underground is it actually used to be a lush island where these beings did live, and a great cataclysm forced it underground. That story is the same across all of these cultures. That a cataclysm is the reason why it's underground. Why did they stay there? Because they had no reason to go to the surface. They considered the surface dwellers to be pretty much barbarians.
I was waiting for you
and
to say the
morons.
term surface dwellers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's what they consider us to be. And they're not ready.
What's that from? Like mainly
I don't
surface
know.
dwellers. Was it like a vampire thing or like what is that?
Maybe. I don't know.
Surface dwellers.
That's
They
not
dwell on the
ringing a-
surface. Who would like the TMNT?
I don't know. Surface dwellers.
Surface dwellers.
In English? Oh, I don't know.
In the chat, what's that from? Surface dwellers.
So because of the location, in the Hindu religion, this is huge. And Shambhala, Shangri-La, this is in all the old
Shangri-La.
Hindu Tibetan texts. They talk about it. One of their most religious texts is said to come from Shambhala itself, right?
Okay.
So it's forced underground. The beings there have advanced technology. They actually talk about the technology they have. They say that the inhabitants of Agartha, they have the ability to destroy entire countries with the weapons that they have. And that they can also use these weapons, they can also use this power source of these weapons to propel crafts as propulsion system. So a lot of people draw a comparison to nuclear power there, right? Atomic energy. So that's interesting. In the 1700s, there was a book written about Shambhala. Western society didn't know much about this, right? This was totally Eastern occult stuff, right? And when it was brought into, it was always brought to Westerners in a specific way. There would be some sort of teachers or emissaries almost of this inner earth society where they would search out Westerners that they felt were sympathetic to Eastern religions and Eastern ideals, and they would try and teach them the ways of Shambhala and Agartha. And they would always stop partway through and say, never mind, you're not the right guy, and move on.
So they'd pick a specific person?
Always, yeah. They'd find a specific person. And it was usually authors or people who were
was academics of some kind.
historians, that dove into their specific stuff, Eastern religions and Eastern texts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Could you imagine you look up aliens and an alien shows up to you? I'm going to give you the goods.
Right. That's
But then
pretty
they're
much
like,
what happened.
actually, sorry, you're not good enough.
That's
later.
what they do.
No.
Because Westerners are so stuck in their ways where they think, and this is the reason they would usually give, is these Westerners, they feel like they always know best. They feel like the only way is their way, and that this archaic knowledge is beneath them.
Yeah.
Or it's something, or it's ancient history that we've moved on from.
So
these
they
ideas.
think we don't know best.
Right. And so because of that, because of the unwillingness to open their minds and really see what they're trying to tell them, they would just give up and move on.
Yeah,
So
fair.
there's a few instances of this throughout the 17, 18, and early 1900s. But that's where we first start hearing about it. This guy in the 1700s, he's in contact with these beings supposedly, and they tell him that down, in Agartha, they have the ability to move electricity over bendable glass. We know now fiber is bendable glass. We've gotten there, but this was in the 1700s when they had this in Agartha.
What up, Mackenzie?
Heyo.
Smack.
So they knew about like nuclear energy and fiberglass before 200-300 years before we got there.
Yeah.
At least that's when we heard about it. They could have had it for 1,000 years.
I have an idea.
Yeah,
Tell
go
me
ahead.
what you think.
Okay.
In between these beats,
Yeah.
what if we did a YouTube short palette cleanser?
Yeah, no problem at all, because we have a lot to get
we got
to.
a lot.
Yeah. So so this is kind of just giving you the idea of what it is. The Buddhists believe that the Dalai Lama, his power is drawn from Agartha itself, and that's what gives him his power. That the king of Agartha actually speaks to the Dalai Lama and sends him messages, and that's why, from all the meditations and things.
Dalai Lama makes sure to do nothing to dispel that rumor. He's like, oh no, yeah, I don't know, maybe God.
Well, that's what they believe.
Wouldn't that
Yeah,
be
that's what their
nuts?
people believe. It's not him saying this is
No,
what's happening.
I'm saying I'm sure he's doing nothing to
Right, yeah. Why
quell
would you?
those
Yeah,
rumors.
but who's to say it's not exact? It's actually true. There's so many instances throughout history where these people have spoken telepathically to people that didn't even know who they were until speaking to them. So that's interesting. So that's kind of the overall view of what is Agartha, and then we'll kind of dive into some fun stuff with it. But yeah, we can do something, a little palate cleanser for that in between. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's do. What we got here? Cool, yeah. Take your time, sweetheart.
I can't even imagine what this.
Soul gangster rapper. don't know why you laughing.
Yeah, get me out of that one. Get me out this one. Get me out this one. Gangster rapper. I'm Sam Smith.
Yeah, I do a lot of gangster rap solo without the instrumentation, but I'm here today to showcase the.
Let's just get into it.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
chatting
I'd be
best.
interested.
Yeah.
It's MC Hammersmith. Yo, less 2-pack, more 2 packs of hummus. Okay, here we go. My rapping is so military, I'm actually a visionary. I come hard with words like I'm on a dictionary.
That's hard. That was hard. Hey, that's a bar.
That's
I got more.
not good.
Wait, I got more.
Yeah.
Let me continue.
I'm a one-man gang, flabbergasted rap slang. Disagree, then you're a fat wang. Flashbang, hear the gat rang. Yeah, I've got a gun, I swear. I'll put clips to your head like I'm styling your hair.
Why is that pretty decent?
Well, thank you much. You motherfuckers are about to get beaten. I'll score you so hard.
5.
I'm a freestyle gangster rapper.
Oh,
That's
no.
great. Yeah, that's incredible.
I rode BMX bikes. I skateboarded.
What
None
the
of that is
fudge?
easy. That I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to try that.
Well, dude, have you seen the movie Place Beyond the Pines,
Of course.
where he rides into it
Yeah.
after the?
Yeah, I've always wanted to give that a
So,
shot.
so if police come up to you and ask you why do you have a cube truck open in the side of the road, what are you gonna say? I'm gonna say it broke down and I'm working.
Yeah,
That's
who
the best
cares?
way
Yeah.
ever.
Cool.
cares?
Yeah, honestly, like, why would they even ask them?
How did you find out about this?
Researched you.
Oh, man, this guy's brilliant.
Right,
You
Sean
eat
Ryan?
No, the guest.
chicken tenders
He's a
every day
white
at
hat
noon at
hacker.
Burger King.
He
and,
chases down
Campbell's soup
predators,
every night for you.
sexual
I
predators.
quit the Burger King, and
exposes
now
them.
I'm on to Chick-fil-A. at 12:30. I do eat Ritz Bits cheese crackers.
Dude, pause this real quick.
Day.
What
Campbell's
this
chicken
guy
noodles.
can do is so amazing, and people that aren't
crackers.
They're not in the technology industry. They don't realize how vulnerable you are to hacking and spyware and malware. But this guy, while he's in this interview, because I've seen this one, he pulls out a little device of his, and he can create wireless networks that look like whatever wireless network you're looking for. He can name it based on what are there.
No, then
and
you
then when
sign
you connect
into
it,
it.
he gets everything. Yeah,
He gets it all.
He can,
Dude, remember we had a friend who did something similar?
Yeah, he was the same type of thing, a white hat hacker. He would teach companies where their vulnerabilities are, and then he would help them close them.
He did my Every Roast Productions logo, which was really
he was.
good.
Yeah, he also did some graphic design and stuff. Yeah, but this guy, dude, so with that same device, he can copy your car door opener just by being nearby, and then steal your car. He can open your garage with it. So anything that has like short range RF, he can pick it up, copy it, and
you know what
then
RF
use it.
stands for?
Radio frequency, of course.
Of course.
So cool. So let's dive back in, and then we can do some more stuff. So,
Well, let's finish the clip. We can't.
that it was just him talking about fucking crackers. That's not a good one.
2 miles.
Not for this
last night
interview,
to
at
walk-
least,
Okay, whatever.
because I've seen it. No, there's so much good stuff in that interview. It's funny that that's a short. Anyway, so the land of 1,000 names. Other than Shambhala, there's also Asgard, Garden of Eden.
Asgard and Eden.
Asgard. So we've got a little MCU overlap there. The city of gods. They also called it that in Egypt, the city of the gods. So even the Egyptians, they had this legend, and all of these places around the earth had doorways to inner earth. Something we learn about from these people that do get the teachings.
Mackenzie said she believes in some sort of telepathy. I absolutely do too.
Yeah. Well, the government believed in it so much. They had a 20-year program they spent millions of dollars on. Yeah. Paying psychics to spy for us. So they believed it. And actually, almost every major government's done that.
Yeah.
The Russians have done it. The Americans have done it. The Chinese
The Cold
have done
War
it.
era was cool because it was governments doing it against each other.
Yeah, spying. And what's cool is all of them would, at some point, reach the ability to speak to beings out there in the collective consciousness.
Isn't that weird when people do enough DMT, they all see like the same being that comes to them?
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
very
make sense.
interesting.
That doesn't make sense.
Unless there's something to it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put your pop filter down because it's not all the way down in your microphone.
Where are you talking about?
Oh, you're done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So different entrances around the world, right? And these entrances are always said to be guarded by the beings from Shambhala itself or from Agartha. So I'll give you a few ideas of where some of these entrances are, where some of these doorways are.
Okay.
Mentioned a couple, but Ecuador has one very famous one.
Okay.
And there's evidence to it. Egypt, another one.
Evidence? What? There's maps or there's?
I'll get into the evidence.
Okay.
Right now, this is just like some of examples of doorways, and then we're even gonna play some clips and look at some stuff about these doorways to inner earth.
There's examples of doorways.
Yeah.
So you got rectangles.
Yeah, there's they're all cave openings, so circular. You've got oval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got squoval, which is sort of a square oval thing.
Yeah. So you've got Guatemala, Ecuador, Egypt, Antarctica, Arizona has a really fascinating one. So we've got one right here at home in the U.S.
Yeah.
And then
South of us, right there. We can go to AZ like today. We could be there.
Yeah. Oh, I would love to try and find this entrance, man. But yeah, so those are some examples, and I'm going to get into some of the evidence of these doorways and why we believe they're there. Other than just the native people saying it, there's actual artifacts and discoveries that have been made in these areas that point to a civilization that is a combination of all ancient civilizations. I'm talking Egyptian hieroglyphics next to Buddha, stuff like that. Things that shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Especially in disparate
And
areas where they would
Egyptian
never.
hieroglyphics into there's no overlap in
No, and these are thousands of years old. These artifacts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Thousands of years old, and they're depicting these two societies next to each other.
Weird.
They also depict animals that they shouldn't even know existed, like woolly mammoths, in these artifacts. Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that. I
pretty
forget
cool.
I forget which civilization or which culture it was, but they had pictures. There's that air. Jesus.
Yeah.
They had pictures of like animals that lived on the opposite side of the world that they've never, like that were in the New World or something.
There you go. Yeah, stuff like that.
It's crazy.
How do they know about this stuff? Or I mean, they were separated by generations, and but they knew exactly what they looked like, and they would put them. So yeah, so we'll dive into some of these examples in a few. Shambhala is another name for it. That's what the Aztecs would call it. Shambhala. What did that make me think of? Shambhala.
Sebulba from
Sebulba. There you go.
From Star Wars.
It's me, Shambhala. Yeah, you can't win a pod race. You're just a kid.
Yeah, I'm a grown-up man. Alien who talks shit to a little kid
who tries to kill you 60 times. Like
I'm literally trying to murder people.
Serial
in the
killer.
Pod race. Yeah,
yeah, just to win.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he was a monster, Shambhala.
Yeah, speaking of murdering people in pod races, dude, the first Fast and the Furious movie is so good, and it's so funny where the movies.
It's not even the best one though. There's so many. I think it
is the best one.
You think so?
5 and 6 are good. Have a
That's
good
what
argument.
I'm thinking. I like when The Rock gets involved. That's when I start to really like.
So
those movies.
he gets involved in 5, but I think 6 is better. And I always confuse, like, sort of combine the two. Gina Carano's in 6, not 5.
Right. Yeah. No, wait.
Yeah.
So
she's
is
in
5 the
6.
first one with
The Rock?
The Rock? Wasn't she on his team though originally? That was the whole thing.
So 6 is when they fight Shaw.
Yeah.
5 is remember when they
go to Buenos
Colombia
Aires, right?
or whatever.
Yeah. This is Brazil.
Yeah. So Rio de Janeiro is where they go. Yeah. We had to think of that part.
That's the part. Yeah. I love it because they can't arrest him.
This is
Brazil.
Oh yeah, Rio de Janeiro.
You think you're gonna arrest me here? Yeah. This is Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they all rally around him just because he was a good driver.
Arrest nobody.
I don't care if you got jurisdiction.
I love you in that
I'll show you
15 or 17, whichever one it is, where they're actually in the DR and they do that race, and he has like that 1940s car with the engine on fire, but he still beats that guy with like a sick ass race car. Right? Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about?
And the guy loses his pink slip to him. It's the beginning of it. They're in the DR, the Dominican Republic, and they do this race.
DR.
That's what they call it, and that's what everyone calls it. But they do this whole race, and he has to race in like some old beat up 1940s truck.
Oh yeah,
against
that's
a
like
race car.
7 or 8.
Yeah, I knew it was one of the later ones.
Yeah,
not
it's
15
It's
yet.
not 9.
It was.
They're
close.
coming out with 10.
Okay.
9. I didn't even finish.
10.
I got bored.
There's another one coming out.
Fast
This
X.
is a franchise.
Yeah.
Speaking
Dude,
of franchises,
yeah,
Scream.
the best. But speaking of, real quick,
Yeah.
Fast and Furious. I want to talk about Scream because it's the best thing ever.
it's the
But
greatest.
dude, it's the first movie's so different. So they're like these thieves, right? And they're still in fucking Panasonic TVs with connected DVDs and shit, like old school, bro.
Yeah.
And then there's some cool parts where he's the cop.
Yeah.
Brian Earl Spillner sounds like a serial killer name. Is that what you are?
When they come back to him being like an FBI agent again.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. He becomes a Fed.
Brian O'Connor.
Yeah.
Well, he was a Fed, right?
Yeah, but remember he gets chased
Well, the
and
first
he
movie,
becomes a...
because in the first movie he gives his keys to Dom and tells him to take a hike. They're like, you can't do that.
So then he's a wanted man.
Yeah,
Then they use him as an asset.
In Fast and Too Furious.
Yeah.
They get him and Tyrese. Well, they get him and they're like, hey, we need your help.
Yep.
Help us out because
Yep.
we'll do. And but now they're like these brilliant heist guys who work with Mr. Nobody from the government.
Yeah, it's gotten
crazy shit. It's gotten insane.
They've pulled off some sick shit.
Well, they pulled off the Burj Khalifa driving through like building, like they pulled off the most insane things that have ever happened.
So
in the history
of course
mankind.
you would hire these guys for everything.
I'd hire them for everything.
Literally
Family.
everything. Yeah. And what's funny is like it's all like car stuff. Like the bad guys just happen to be like road warriors. So
See, that's what was great
that's why
with
you
Fast
need 'em.
6 was it was the opposite of Dom's team.
Yeah, the bad guy team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so they had Letty, but it was she was evil, and they had it was the opposite of their team. So that was cool.
Yeah,
but
that's a cool one.
And that was the cool where Gina Carano fights.
Yeah, I love that
also
one.
something that never happens in those movies, which was the best. Tyrese and not Tej because they're always teamed up. Him and Ludacris. It's Tyrese and Han get their ass whooped by that Asian dude.
That's so
That's
fun.
so great.
Yeah, that was
you
a
gotta,
good
You
part.
gotta have the Indiana Jones moments
They
where
both
the
run
heroes,
after, you know.
yeah, and they just get torn to shreds.
Yeah.
You gotta have those moments where the hero gets their ass kicked, the Indiana Jones moments and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
don't tell anybody about this.
Yeah, you gotta have those. Yeah,
That was funny.
that was great. That was good. And also, dude, you want to know what's crazy? The first time, so Brian, Paul Walker's character, goes up
Yeah.
to Letty, Michelle Rodriguez's character, and he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry about blah 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 blah." In Fast 6, that's the first time those two characters ever spoke together.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
They need to do a lot, not just Tej and Roman.
Yeah.
Not just Michelle Rodriguez and Dom. I love how that you can use their names or their character names, and it doesn't matter in these movies. Brian and Dom, like they have these teams.
Yeah.
And they stick to the Han and Giselle.
Yeah, for different things. Yeah.
You got to switch it up, dude. You got to do Han with Tej. You got to do Han, or you got to do Giselle's gone now, but what's that one hot chick, Natalie?
Yeah, the
She's
one
the
from,
new one from Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
She's
you got to
great,
have
the
her
hacker.
with Dom, and then
Yeah.
you have Michelle Rodriguez with Roman. You know, you got to do just cool mixes
Yeah.
of the team.
Yeah.
Anyway, Scream, the dopest franchise.
Just
Yeah.
the newest one is so good.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, it's and I love that they even say it like now the rules aren't the rules of like sequels and trilogies. We're the rules of a franchise
Yeah.
now. So
Still-
main characters can die and things can get wacky and
Yep.
it was cool.
Still,
I liked that.
Best. There's two great moments in Scream history, and maybe you can remind me of a few more, but two great I'm thinking of. One, in a more recent one, you know where I'm going. It's an honor.
Oh, I don't even.
Oh, you
remember
still don't
that
know what I'm
part.
saying.
No.
When he kills Dewey.
Oh, that
It's
part.
an
Yeah.
Dude, so sick. And the
Yeah.
other is, of course, when in Scream 3, when you get what's his name? Kenny back. What's his name?
Kenny.
Kenny is his character's name.
Crap.
The comedian.
The actor, right? He was like just the random actor that was
No.
supposed to be the new Dewey or
the comedian.
No, the new Randy. Yeah.
Randy. That's his name. Randy. Whatever I said.
Wait, what? Oh, you're talking about the video.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought you were
what-
talking
that's what I'm
about the
getting to.
actor that was playing him in the movie.
No,
on the set.
what's his name?
Randy
Jamie Kennedy.
Kennedy. Yeah.
When Jamie Kennedy dies
Yeah.
in Scream 3, it was shown back on the video. His
Yeah.
weird sister shows
But
up.
that's why I like the new ones. They have his like niece and
Yeah.
nephew who are twins, and
Yeah.
they're just as into it because
well,
of
she
him.
is not the
Yeah.
twin so much.
She's
but
pretty
she's
good.
into it.
It's good stuff,
The
man.
the lesbian girl. She's
Yeah.
a good character. I
She's
like her a lot.
cool.
Yeah, she's great.
The core four, they call
Dude,
themselves.
the layers of her screaming at the screen.
That's the best way.
It's
Yeah,
the
where
best.
she's like behind you. Wait, and then he's
Yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Because that's like 3 removed from the original
Exactly.
scene.
So
It's
sick.
so cool.
Because it's Kenny
Yeah.
watching it, screaming about Jamie, move.
Yeah.
And then that's her uncle or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, those movies are good, dude. The Fast movies are fun.
Yeah. All right, I'm diving back in because we got a few things to hit. So
Okay.
the doorways, few different doorways to get into Inner Earth, and like I said, one of them is here in the U.S. The first one I want to mention because out of the several, I'll mention like 3.
Do the one closest to us, AZ.
No, we're gonna do that one last because it's the most fun, and I have a video for it.
The opposite of what I said.
The opposite. So Ecuador, the natives there, they have a cave system that's miles and miles long, completely unexplored, unexcavated. The way we know about it today is there was Father Crispy who went to this town, and why is that funny? I just wanna
Father
know.
Crispy?
Yeah.
It sounds like a mascot for a cereal. What are you talking about? Why is that funny?
I
Father
was thinking of a
Crispy.
priest, so I was trying to think of what
It
was
is a
funny about a
priest.
priest. Yeah.
Well, it is a priest, but
Yeah.
it's called like a Holios, right?
Okay.
And you got Father Crispy.
Well, I didn't. That's not where I went, so I didn't get it yet.
Father Crispy's there
It
holding
has
the
to be
bowl.
explained. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, that would be funny. Like at a monastery or something, they only
You think
ate
so?
like
Yeah,
Holios or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Okay, yeah, and the Great Father Crispy.
Father Crispy.
So he goes to help the native people, right? He was like a humanitarian. He would help with build schools and homes and take care of the people. So the natives get really close to him, and then they want to give him a gift. So they bring him this gold plate, and on the plate it depicts.
if it was a bowl, it'd be better.
It's like, no, it's supposed to be a page from a book. Their books were made of gold. And he doesn't believe them. They tell him about this stuff, but then they bring him a page from one of these books, and it's a freaking gold page
that they like
of
carve?
writings.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and these are thousands of years old. It's not rudimentary carvings. These are beautifully written texts.
Oh, thank you.
and
I'm not going to
depictions
pawn this. This
and
is
hieroglyphs.
lovely. I'm going to put this on my wall.
Well, they see how happy it makes him, so they start bringing him more and more of them. And he builds an entire collection of these. And it starts depicting different cultures from around the world, all on one plate. And it's talking about an inner Earth civilization that, and this would have changed everything historically, right? Being able to examine these. So what he does is,
so they're gone or something.
so he has them in his personal quarters, and once word gets out, he wants the scientific community to study these. One night, his little place is caught on fire. When he gets in there, they're gone.
Yeah.
A few of them, though, he kept for himself. He kept a private collection of them, and these would change everything if examined.
That's why Indiana Jones is so great, just real quick, is because he is always finding that should be in a museum.
And he's right.
And so, dude, you know how much knowledge we've lost because, and even looking into El Dorado and stuff, I realized this because they did models of depicting these cool ceremonies and stuff. But because of black market trade and stuff, we can never study this shit.
And even just concealment.
Sadly
enough.
Just go. You're a black market dealer. Call. Hey, come examine this shit. If you say a word to anyone that it's mine or in my possession, I will cut your dick or whatever. You know?
Yeah, okay.
Just threaten them real good, like right.
Yeah. Well, it should be in a museum.
You get your cake and eat it too, right?
But
So
here's the problem:
check it out, but don't say anything. I'm gonna keep it.
Well, these guys don't do the black market thing. A lot of these guys bring it to like the Smithsonian, and the Smithsonian never displays it, and then loses the
That's even worse.
paperwork.
That's what you were talking about.
That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. That's what happens here. The few that he had in his private collection before he dies, he goes, I know these would change history, so I'm going to give them to the Bank of Ecuador because they promised to display them in a museum, and they're never seen again.
Even that happens. People will put in their will, I am donating this as long as it will be displayed, blah, 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 and they don't display it.
Why? It seems like there is this classic narrative
They're
of
terrified that people are gonna, if we know about inner Earth shit or we know about aliens or something, then people aren't gonna believe in heaven or God, or they're gonna question it. And everything's gonna fall into mayhem.
They like the idea, I think, of them knowing best, or of them being the most powerful,
or them knowing more.
Right. If they can show that a civilization before us was actually more knowledgeable, or an Eastern civilization, or a Native American civilization had, that's not okay, because it goes against what we're. Imagine during the time where the Native Americans were being driven off their land and murdered and their stuff taken. If we were to come out and say, look, no, these guys actually have all this great technology and these great ideals and this great history, and they have all these artifacts that we should study and we should work with them. That goes against what they're trying to do. Manifest destiny. That would not fall in line. So yeah. Anyway.
Move your foot.
No, it's not in frame.
No, but it's on the couch.
I'm just okay.
You just bend it. You could just bend it. Yeah,
So
just on the bottom
it's just because my leg's killing me.
Okay.
So
your
I wouldn't. I'm not doing it for fun.
Yeah, your leg hurts.
Yeah. So but anyway, so the Ecuador has this one, but then again, it's suppressed. The next one, Egypt. Okay. So we know that there are tunnel systems under the Giza Plateau. In 500 BC, a Greek historian named Herodotus, he comes back with a story of a vast network underground called the City of the Gods that connects a massive underground pyramid about 400 feet high, and the tunnels actually connect to Giza, which they called Memphis back then. What? And that there was a tunnel that led deep underground to where the Egyptians called the underworld. And this would have been their entrance to inner Earth. And
Wait,
it's
so the underworld wasn't like where Pluto lived?
No, the underworld in most of these cultures refers to Agartha.
Or Egyptian Hades, whatever.
No. Yeah, it refers to Agartha. The underworld wasn't a scary place to them. It was actually heavenly. It was it's heaven on earth.
So, but I'm asking, was there ever or did we maybe confuse Hades and the underworld with inner Earth?
Like the Greeks? I don't know. Actually, I don't have any Greek inner Earth stuff, but I'm sure there is.
Hades is Egyptian mythology, right?
I don't think so,
No,
but
that's
it could
Greek.
be.
That's
Yeah, it's
Greek.
Greek for sure. But
Pluto's Roman.
But I do
that's
know
right.
that, and the Egyptians had
Osiris and all that weird shit.
right, exactly. The Egyptians had like a great relationship with death. They felt that when you died, your soul was shot up into the Osiris constellation, where your soul would live happily and then return to Earth one day. They didn't fear it at all. They had a cool relationship with it, but they believed.
Well, I feel like that's most religions, even Abrahamic religions.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. It's a great way to not fear death. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, you asked about Egypt specifically and their relationship to the underworld.
So
Yeah.
there was no confusion of, I guess, with underworld being like hell.
Not for the Egyptians.
No, not for them.
No. But
Really?
yeah, I know that Christian, Catholic religion, and they believe that the underworld is hell. But what's interesting is the Israelites believe that the Garden of Eden was in inner Earth, and that you could
that's
get there
weird.
through a cave system. And we're going to talk about that one.
So what do they believe? They believe Adam and Eve were real, and this guy actually.
It's
pulled
the
his
Old
rib
Testament,
out?
right? So if you take the text literally, that is exactly what they believe happened. But here's the thing.
It's all translation.
The Garden of Eden was where it is not where it was in the Bible. Where it is now is underground. And the only way to get to it is through
they're
this
two different
cave system.
places?
It's not. It's the same place, but it's been forced underground.
Okay, so where it was originally,
Right.
If it exists,
Right, which I think they believe somewhere in the Fertile Crescent there. So
like-
off the Nile River even.
paradise.
Somewhere in that general area. But again, forgive my ignorance when it comes to like ancient Israeli
not.
texts. I didn't dive too deep into that for this one.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, it's something I'll probably learn about after this, honestly, because now I'm interested.
I cannot forgive your ignorance.
But and so check it out. So that's Egypt. Egypt had this massive underground system, and they called it the City of Gods. We still haven't found it. There's more than one Greek philosopher, and they're separated by hundreds of years that have claimed to have been there. That they've gone through this magnificent white marble system of caves with drawings. They even say it's unbelievable that man could even make something like this. Giant pillars and drawings and hieroglyphs and just adorned in all kinds of jewels and gold. And then it leads, all of the great sites of Egypt are connected by this underground tunnel system all the way to the Giza Plateau. But they have an underground pyramid with its own entrance.
So it goes to the Giza Plateau.
Yeah, it's connected. And Herodotus
So
says
then
he
maybe
did it.
There's an entrance in the pyramids
Yes.
and the Sphinx.
Yeah.
Because there's like we talked about, there's tunnels that are literally have been cemented shut.
Yes.
In the Sphinx, below the Sphinx.
Well, in other countries that don't have the Egyptian
government's
government,
way of thinking,
they're rough.
Where they're just like, fuck, nobody see anything.
If we go to Guatemala,
here.
Guatemala is another known site with an entrance to Shambala. Guatemala, they just found recently, this was in the past couple years, they did ground penetrating radar in Guatemala and found that there is a tunnel that goes into a system of caves and tunnels that's 500 miles long.
Wait, so they had ground penetrating radar that saw?
Yeah.
500
It's unexcavated so
miles?
far. 500 miles of tunnels.
And how deep is this? Did they know?
They have no idea yet. All they know
With the ground penetrating radar, there's no.
They
like,
can't find an entrance to it. No, it doesn't go that deep. They can't find the entrance, and they don't know how deep it goes. But apparently, it would go to inner
They can't
Earth.
find where it goes up a little bit.
No, that's the
Shit.
problem. But
So
they're going
where
to
was
try.
this specifically? Where did they look in Ecuador?
Guatemala.
Or
This
that's
was
what I meant.
Guatemala. This was
Guatemala.
under the pyramid. Let's see. What was this? Offhand, I don't know. In Mexico, though, something similar under the Pyramid of the Moon.
Yeah.
Which is at Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan is the Pyramid of the Moon. There is ground penetrating radar was used there, and they found a cave system again with an entrance that's about 40 feet underground is where it starts.
So what
and
is
goes
it like?
deep.
7 caves?
Who knows? But this is in Mexico, and this is under the Pyramid of the Moon. That huge step pyramid is one of the biggest pyramids on Earth. They just in 2020 they did ground penetrating radar and found an entrance to a cave that goes deep underground. They don't know how far.
The 7 caves. What's the other term for it?
Chickamotec.
Chickamotec.
Yeah.
It was something I was looking into a little bit.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Yeah. So
People don't know where that one is either. That's the Aztec like creation story. Is that these people came? The Aztec people came from Chickamotec. That is where their people are from.
and that's where they went back to, because who knows where the fuck they went.
That's what people think about this cave system in Guatemala. The Mayans. That's a Mayan temple.
Where'd they go?
The Mayans completely disappeared. How did so many of them get out before being killed or destroyed by disease? They believe this 500-mile long tunnel system could be how.
Yeah.
So when they start excavating, they might find out.
So when I was looking up Chickamotec,
Yeah.
there was not a lot of info on it. There's some.
Oh yeah, it's
But-
like a rare story. And if you speak
Yeah.
Spanish, it probably helps because that's most of the
Most of the
legends.
videos were in Spanish.
I believe it. Yeah.
But there's there was a few articles about it. One History Channel thing sort of touching on it.
Oh, that's
And,
cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you don't hear much about that one. That was one I wanted to go searching for personally. I thought that it was, and we're gonna get to it. I thought it was this cave system in the Grand Canyon. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Nuts. Quick palate cleanse.
sure. Oh wait, no. One more doorway and then we'll palate cleanse.
Oh yeah. That's right.
So
You're building
the
for
final doorway,
doorway.
that I wanted to mention is
in
Arizona, and this is located in the Grand Canyon of all places.
The GC, the big GC.
Yeah.
I think
so
we have.
what evidence do we have that there is anything resembling an entrance to a civilization that has been monitoring a civilization, helping civilization all around the world? It is believed that the inhabitants of Shambhala come up through the cave systems to keep an eye on mankind on the surface.
On our dumbasses,
They also
on our
send their
surface
vehicles.
dwellers.
They send their vehicles up out of the inner earth. Their vehicles are said to be like metal canoes that can change and fly like eagles and basically UFOs. They have these vehicles that they come up from inner earth and they keep an eye on what's going on the surface, right? So we have some evidence to the Grand Canyon one. And I sent you a video here. Just to give it some color, in the early 1900s, before they made this place protected government land and certain areas were going to be completely off limits, there was an explorer named G.E. Kincaid. And there's a lot of info online about him if you like this stuff. G.E. Kincaid, he goes to the Grand Canyon and he finds something he doesn't expect. And that's what's in this video. So let's check that out.
Let's do
Early 1900s, I think 1908.
1908.
Coloration of the rock
Oh wow! Look at that. Perfect time stamp.
Perfect timing.
wall. He was hoping to find clues that would lead him to a mineral deposit. He wasn't
guy's a
expecting
bitch.
to find
He's looking for
hieroglyphics.
gold.
When Kincaid noticed chisel marks in the walls, he drew his pistol, turned on another light, and slowly
What are you gonna do? Wi-Fi? Is you gonna steal our content of us watching you? You
Yeah,
thief?
they're not a competitor of ours by
walked
any
deeper
stretch.
in-
We do a completely different show. Yeah, but that's why I like using his stuff because he does good research and he tells the stories very well. So you'll like this one. Check it out.
to the gloom.
we'll
He kept detailed notes of everything he saw.
The main passageway is about 12 feet wide.
This is in the Grand Canyon.
Now into 9 feet toward the farther end. About 57 feet from the entrance, the first side passages branch off to the right and left, along which on both sides are a number of rooms about the size of
He
ordinary
hired an
living
actor
rooms
to
of
do
today.
his voice.
Yeah.
Though some are 30 by 40 feet square. These are entered by oval-shaped doors and are
It's a cave
ventilated
system
by
in the
round
Grand
arch
Canyon.
pieces through the walls into the passages. The walls
With
are about
Egyptian
3 feet,
hieroglyphics.
6 inches in thickness. The passages are chiseled or hewn as straight as could be laid out by an engineer. The ceilings of many of the
High-tech
rooms
engineering.
converge to
Yeah.
a center. The side passages near the entrance run at a sharp angle from the main hall, but toward the rear they gradually reach a right
Thanks, Chase.
angle in direction.
G.E. Kincaid now realized he was in a huge complex. He estimated that as many as 50,000 people could have lived here.
Think of the
In
size
some
of that
rooms,
system.
He found granaries with shelves of glazed
Yeah.
pottery, many of which still contain seeds. He found cooking areas and a huge dining hall.
So civilization lived here,
Yeah, I feel like
obviously. Yeah, we can pause and stop. He's the last person I would think would do a strike against us.
it's not even up to him. Probably it's up to the company that he works with.
YouTube.
No. So there's, like 5, not like 2 main ones, but there's like media companies that all YouTubers sign with, and they're the ones who handle a lot of that shit.
We've watched this stuff before to get strikes, but yeah, here we'll stop though every few.
We've
every
never
so
watched
often.
a
oh yeah
more than 30-second video. of
yeah.
his.
Well, we have. Play it again.
Which video?
I don't remember, but I know we've used him as a source before. But who cares? Just keep playing it, and then we'll stop every so often. I'm okay with that. I mean,
Rooms were
but
full
there's
of
some good
ancient
stuff here.
artifacts. Kincaid carefully wrapped a few small metal and ceramic objects for later study. Another large room Kincaid described as an area for metalwork, a technology that should not have existed.
Everything. Yeah, the rooms for metalwork dating back to the time of hieroglyphics, metalwork with copper tools. Go ahead. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
You're good. The pausing is good.
Inscriptions made of copper. These people undoubtedly knew the lost art of hardening this metal, which has been sought by chemicals for centuries without result. On a bench running around a workroom was some charcoal and other material probably used in the process. There's also slag and stuff
they
similar to
smelted
that,
ore
showing that these
in this
ancients
civilization.
smelted ores. But so far, no trace of where or how this was done has been discovered, nor the origin of the ore.
G.E.
Curious.
Yeah.
Curious.
So he goes further into not just finding hieroglyphics, but in one of the main halls, there's a massive statue of Buddha. But here's the thing: the Egyptian hieroglyphics aren't exactly Egyptian. They're similar.
Where? Say that sentence again.
I'll get to it again right now. So the Egyptian he sees Egyptian hieroglyphics right when he walks in,
With a statue of
and that's what he
Buddha?
finds interesting. So Egyptian hieroglyphics that aren't exactly Egyptian. Then into one of the main halls is a giant statue of what looks to be Buddha.
What?
Not
It's an amalgam of cultures and
right. It's
religions.
based on everything they find there, and the Smithsonian gets involved, and they send a professor down, and they send an excavation crew down to start going through this. They find a hall of mummies, of tons of mummies and bodies in there, and then they find this giant Buddha that looks like Buddha, but not exactly. But he's holding 2 lotus flowers. So you have these.
What?
Yeah, based on everything they find, they believe that it was actually an Eastern civilization, but here in the Grand Canyon and thousands of years old. This isn't a coastal area. This isn't where you can come by boat and then bring your traditions. To get to the Grand Canyon, you'd have to come from underneath. And that's why this is an entrance.
This is posits. Okay.
Yeah, so this is what he doesn't posit that I am. How could an Eastern civilization end up in the Grand Canyon? Most people don't have an answer to that. They just think it's fascinating. But based on my research with Shambhala, they're a combination of all of these different cultures.
Shambala.
And they would come from underground. What's interesting in that area, you have the Hopi Indians who say that they came from inner earth. You have the Navajo that say they came from inner earth.
So, funny story about the Navajo.
Okay.
I was sleeping with this Native American girl.
Okay.
And after we're done, I go to give her money. And she says, "What are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean? Giving you money." She says, "I'm Navajo."
Right. Yeah, that was pretty obvious from the setup, I think. That's interesting. But yeah, so you got the Navajo, you got the Hopi, you've got
Speaking
the
of Navajo.
Apache that say that they know that some of these other tribes have come from inner earth, and they know the entrances, and they will not go near them because they're deadly and they're protected by beings they can't match. So the Apache, who were probably the most war adept,
Oriented. Okay.
yeah, of all the tribes in Native America, North America, they would not go near these areas. They were scared to death of these entrances, and nobody was taken to them. Chickamautek that you described is described as several caves, and someone who believed he actually went there was R.G. Babcock and wrote a letter to his sister giving a detailed map of how to get there.
Yeah.
Again, we find ancient Egyptian with Eastern
Mixed with
religious.
Eastern, yeah.
It's weird stuff in there. And the Aztec believe that's where they came from, is this inner earth
But
society.
here's the thing that the connection nobody's made
Yeah.
is that the 7 caves / Chickamautek, 7 caves / Chickamautek connected to inner earth.
Right.
Nobody's ever said, "Oh, this is the entrance to inner earth."
Not with any of these. I'm
That's what I'm
kind of
saying.
just, I'm
With
kind of riffing
the
here.
Grand Canyon, then they were never like, "Oh, because they went to inner earth here."
It makes sense when like all of these stories
even
on
the
their own.
even the Mayans.
All of them. Yeah. There's a lot of, they all believed in this and they all had their inner earth story.
Especially when there's entrances
Yeah.
in these places.
Yeah. We're finding caves and entrances that go deep into the earth at all these sites. So this is starting to look more like the flood myth.
I don't know where a light source would come from or how you would sustain without a light source or without human beings would sustain without light.
They actually live longer without the sun.
You could live without the sun.
You live longer. The sun is actually. So a lot of these beings and a lot of these stories, when they talk about inner Earth,
we're like Superman. We gain energy from the sun, though.
Well, a lot of the inner Earth societies say that once they were out of the sun, and when you talk about, because during the time of the flood, a lot of civilizations went underground.
That's why vampires are so strong.
Well, they would live longer and healthier without the
vampires,
without the sun. Is that true? Who knows? We told a story on this show weeks, months, years ago.
Weeks, months.
No, it was a while back. It was during the Missing 411 episode.
We said it 20 minutes ago.
We talked about these two kids
some months ago
that came out of a cave.
The green
system,
children,
and they were green, and they said that they were looking for food, navigating through these cave tunnels, and came out to where we found them, right on the surface.
Yep, and we couldn't find the cave they came out of.
No, and not only that, they when they were able to speak English, they said, we came from a place where the sun never set, where there was a continuous light source that was always like dawn. So inner Earth, if it has a light source,
Alaska.
it could be something that's not the sun that sets.
It could be a synthetic, or like a fake sun.
Well, we know that they said they were known to have fiber optic glass for electricity and lighting. That's actually something mentioned in the 1700s. Yeah.
You can carry light from however far you want.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
So that's a cool one, man. I love the Grand Canyon one. But we can take a pause, and then the next one we're going to get into is really fun to finish it off.
Speaking of pause, it was so sad watching little baby Rocket in his little.
I saw that in the trailer.
I only mentioned shit that came in the trailer. Yeah. Him shaking his little baby paws shaking. I'm like, oh, poor little Rocket.
Yeah, that is sad because it's like a dog almost.
So exactly. He even said, what's his name? James Gunn even said that not only is he the secret protagonist of the series, but he actually informed how he even got into Guardians. He was like, because Marvel approached him and like, hey man, we want you to do this movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, with this raccoon, like it's like Bugs Bunny with the Avengers, like I can't figure it out. Huh. And so he's driving home from the meeting. He's trying to think, how would I even do that? And he's like, oh, okay, maybe what would Rocket's origin be? Like, what's his story? And he's like, maybe he's the saddest creature in the universe. So maybe he has this terrible backstory. And that started informing all of the characters. He's like, maybe all these characters are broken in a way.
Okay.
So Drax lost his family.
Yeah. That's what brings them together. Yeah.
Gamora and Nebula always fighting.
They're in search of a new family. Yeah.
And And, Rocket and Groot obviously doing their own thing, trying to, bounty hunt and whatever. And he's like, so it was Rocket that even made him figure out how to write these characters and how to make this shit work. And it worked out fabulously.
It made it heartfelt and made it what it is.
What did Mackenzie say? Oh, fire. She put it up. Nice. Who said fire?
Chase
McBoy.
Yeah.
So let's do.
Yeah, if you guys find any of this stuff interesting or want me to dive into any of it more, just throw it in the
Too
chat
bad.
as we go.
No, just kidding. You know where I got that? Let's do.
No.
You said it one episode just randomly.
Let's do it.
Let's do. You just said let's do. Yeah.
Oh.
I said, all right, you ready to do it? And you're like, let's do.
Huh.
And now I've been saying it. It's funny.
Oh, that's what I'm the source.
You said
okay. I thought I was like, did I get it from something? I don't remember. Okay. No,
you tell me. You
I just
came out. You're the one I got it from.
That's funny.
Let's do. Yeah, you said it episodes ago. All right. Here we go.
Years ago.
No way.
Sir, somebody's actually sitting there.
Yes, someone was.
Look, hey, man. Hey, you don't see the sweatshirt?
This is a good movie. I like this.
Central Intelligence.
Dude, you don't have to be a about it. Somebody's sitting in the chair.
Bro, are you serious?
Because the guy that comes out is like
The Rock.
Yeah, the only guy you don't want to be fucking with in this situation.
Was that the last bro? If it wasn't, I'll talk.
That's supposed to be funny?
Dude.
You a comedian now. Because you don't look like Dane Cook to me, bro.
Perfect.
That's the best.
What's the rumpus?
What's the rumpus?
He's so good. I love The Rock.
Let's go.
Oh, we're not going to go anywhere.
No, we're not going anywhere.
Those gym muscles aren't scaring anybody.
By the way, anybody who tries to tell me that The Rock is not on steroids is lying.
You don't think so?
There's
he
no
talks
fucking
about
way.
his diet and workout routines.
I don't care. You don't get that big naturally.
You think he
don't.
still does it, or maybe he did it in the past?
I
now
think
and
he
just-
never did it until, well, maybe he did like a little bit. Dude, if you look at him in the wrestling days,
Yeah.
he was a quarter of his size.
Yeah.
And he was
Okay.
still a big guy. He's obscene.
Well, now they've got all these enhancement things you can take and all these supplements and all this other shit. I mean, I'm
Steroids.
Well, I just mean like scientific advancements in this field have come so far. You can take so much stuff now.
Well, yeah, there's so much out
It's
there. Well,
not
it's like
steroids.
old PEDs though, old like illegal shit.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I meant like just natural stuff that
Well,
people have been.
no, not natural shit. I mean, there's no root that you're gonna take that you're gonna start looking like this. There's no vitamin you're gonna take and you're gonna fucking work out one day and look like that.
He's a big dude, though.
No, he's obscenely huge. He takes steroids. John
Just in
Cena,
general.
anybody who's that large.
How tall is he? Is he like, what's like 6'2" or something?
Yeah, he's like
a
6'2",
big
6'3".
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Plus, what is he? I don't know his ethnic background.
he's like
if he's Samoan, yeah, they're big, man. They're just
not
big. Like they're
muscular
big,
like
muscular
that. Though.
dudes.
They're just big. They're big, not
well,
muscular.
big
like
can
that.
turn into muscle. That's if you don't have
Not
that,
that kind
weight,
of muscle,
you can't
bro.
even get that.
Him, John Cena, all those guys.
I don't know enough about it, but that's sure.
My best indicator is I look at UFC wrestlers. Or, I'm sorry, UFC fighters in general.
Yeah.
I look at the ones who didn't do. Let me take this off screen.
Well, those guys have to be fast and lean, right?
The
They
ones-
can't be huge.
Bullshit, bro. Back in the like early aughts, that was it. You wanted to be, and it's dude. Steroids don't just make you big and huge.
Yeah.
Not only do they make you big and huge, but they increase reaction time, recovery time. They increase so you waking up every day and going to the gym and feeling defeated and working out and just being sore and tired, and you gotta fucking do it again. That it doesn't just change that and make you fired up, ready to go.
Well, I used to drink that
well, you took steroids.
No,
you did.
I'm not.
You took anabolic steroids.
I never took steroids. First of all, I took something that was called androstenedione that was legal at the time, and I didn't know what it was.
Because it was anabolic steroids.
My buddy was taking it, and I only took it for like 2 months. I'm talking about a time in my life not too long ago when I was working out every morning. There was this drink that I just got at one of the health food store, GNC.
Yeah.
And it has like DHAs in it and other stuff like that. And you would drink it while you work out, and I would just keep be able
pre-workouts.
Same with
and shit
creatine
versus.
So I was drinking
versus
pre-workouts.
steroids.
I was drinking
Very
during the
different.
workout a different one.
Yeah.
And then you would take like these other supplements like creatine and stuff. You feel like you could just keep going. Like
Oh
you
yeah,
would
it's
never
insane.
wear out.
It's insane.
And all that stuff is you just get it at
But
GNC.
this shit, imagine that GNC shit times 100.
Right.
And this also not only makes you just so you can keep going,
Yeah.
but it also makes it so that your recovery is quicker. It makes it so that you're not. It changes even your mind chemistry, how you feel and think about it. You're excited to
He
get back
doesn't
to the gym.
seem like a crazy guy though. He just has such
There's
a
no
sweet
crazy.
temperament.
There's no crazy.
Yeah, there is. People on steroids, you know when they're on steroids, dude. Anyone I've ever met that's on it acts like they're on it.
Well,
There's
you're
no
talking
hiding
about
it.
dumb bros that take it.
I'm just
and
talking about anyone
don't
that
do
shoots,
it right.
that shoots up
Not anyone.
steroids
I've-
acts like an asshole.
I've had friends who I had no idea until
They don't like that they act like that. They know they do. They'll admit it. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, this stuff makes me freaking act like an idiot.
Mhm.
But usually you can tell, like people that when they're, I had friends that would cycle on it, cycle off of it. And when they were on it, they
Yeah.
had a specific temperament.
But even how he went about, and we don't know The Rock in real life. We see him on interviews and shit. He's not gonna
Yeah.
be, fuck everybody in this room.
No, but everybody
You know?
that works with him also says like he's like literally the nicest guy of all time, and he does nothing but eat like grilled chicken 3 times a day with brown rice. Like he'll tell you what he does. And it's like all the most healthy shit with nothing out extra. No,
Yeah.
he has like 8 meals a day or whatever he's doing.
PEDs.
But yeah, maybe so. I just
For
know
sure.
that
For sure. I have no doubt in my mind.
I just know that there's so much stuff out there nowadays, so I don't think people even have to take steroids anymore.
That's
I know that
crazy
there's
to
a
say.
there's
That's
a quick,
crazy.
it's like a quick route, but if
It's not a quick route.
if you're rich and you
it's
can
a
work out with a
life-changing
trainer,
route. It's a life-changing route. You on
all
steroids
short
versus
term.
not on bullshit. Well, while you're taking, of course, but you on steroids versus you on not steroids are two different human beings. From even again the fighters, because that's all I know it from.
Right.
Is you see these guys like a Vitor Belfort who are dominating, killers.
Yeah.
Straight killers. And then as soon as they get caught and they can't do it anymore,
yeah,
they're obviously their body changes, but their whole mind chemistry changes too, and how they fight, their reaction time.
But
shit
yeah,
they
those
never
are
would've got
examples of
caught
people
with.
on. I'm saying, what's a good example of somebody that's not taking it and that is in that kind of same shape? That's in that.
There is no such thing. You don't get in that shape.
There's
without
got to
it.
be.
You don't get in that
I just
shape
don't
without
feel
it.
like everyone's down to shoot up steroids. That's
No,
big.
The people that are smaller don't.
Especially guys like him that's all they can do it all day. They can literally do nothing but work out all day.
Yeah,
When they have a role,
but
they work
with
a few months,
steroids.
and
Yeah,
then the
without
rest of the
steroids,
time.
your peak is here. With steroids, your peak is here.
Agreed, but how do we know that's his peak? What if with steroids he can be even bigger than that?
There's
we don't
no
know.
such thing.
How
He's
do
a
you know?
monster.
No, man. I've seen like Mr. Universe pictures in like those teriyaki places. Guys 3 times his size. That and every little line and muscle is popping out in
Bodybuilders,
mass.
yeah.
Yeah. So he's not as big as he can get. I'm sure he could get really freaking big. If that was his goal, and I'm sure it's not because it's not.
Well, those are the guys who
for
are psycho,
roles.
who will inject straight into those muscles. Like
Yeah.
those guys are fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's sort of what the
So
the
we don't know if
contest
that's
calls
his
for.
peak, though, is what I'm saying. What if it's not? What if
Well,
he-
no, if he injected directly into his muscles, then yes, he could get a little bigger. But
yeah, who knows?
Yeah, just the size he is
We don't know.
ridiculous.
But you know,
I'm saying I
hate to think that
convinced.
everybody's taking steroids.
Who's
That's
everybody?
big.
The Rock and John Cena, 2 big motherfuckers.
I don't know about John Cena. I
100%.
haven't seen him enough.
100%.
Yeah, you might be right. I have no idea. But I've seen The Rock in a lot of stuff, and you know, he's not always that big. But he's not too big.
Dude,
either
remember
for
him in
his
like
size.
no, he's way too big.
You think?
Remember him in like Be Cool? We thought it was huge.
And
Or
can't you take
Scorpion
supplements
King?
that hold water in your muscles to make you look even bigger? Like that's what the bodybuilders
you
do
want-
that before shows and stuff.
No, you do the opposite.
Well, I'm saying the supplements like increase the mass of muscle short term while you're taking it, and it's only for and they take it right before shows to make themselves look even bigger.
Yeah, well, so I don't know. That's
something about
that's
it.
sort of the opposite of what they do, because what they'll do is they'll dehydrate themselves so that older muscles pop out and show.
Right,
So
but I mean the
nothing's
muscles hold the
holding.
water.
Maybe I don't know beforehand. So
even
that
creatine, I think,
it
does that.
dehydrates. So they could dehydrate the rest of their body without losing muscle mass. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know it's not
that
illegal.
would
It's
make
not
sense
steroids.
to take something that would make your muscles retain water.
Yeah.
And then you can dehydrate yourself so you can have the cut.
That's what I'm talking
abs,
about,
And you
yeah.
can have the giant veins.
And it's
all
short
that.
term. It only lasts like
And
a few
it's
hours.
a day or the next day, whatever.
But
Yeah, that would make
then-
sense. And whoever didn't, if they don't have that, they should make that, because that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because that would make everybody. That's what every bodybuilder would want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your
there's
muscles
something
retain.
like that.
Yeah, but you don't have. But you can still do the dehydration process because even like, Henry Cavill, who played Superman, has a famous story about this. He said he would take, he would dehydrate himself before he had to shoot a scene like in Justice League where he's fighting the Justice League.
Yeah, for sure.
Or he just ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
He said he would dehydrate himself so much that he would be able to smell water.
Yeah, that's
I'm like,
funny.
you can't smell water, buddy. He's like, no. He's like, straight up. I didn't have a conversation with him.
Yeah,
about it.
that's
He's like,
funny.
straight up, you could smell water. He's
I
like,
can see that, though.
He's like, I would just put Vaseline on my lips, so I didn't look so dehydrated. And I was just like, I could smell water. And as soon as we'd finish the scenes, I just fucking. And you have to, even like in camps when you cut weight, you have to take like little caps of water, because your body would go into shock if you just downed a bottle after cutting weight. Or dehydrating yourself.
That's really scary.
Isn't that freaky? You'd have
Yeah, I
to
don't
down.
like
If you
that.
down a bottle, your body would go into shock. Anyway, let's watch this short real quick, because it's about the hook.
Oh, hey, these.
Yo, come on, let's just go.
No, we're not gonna go. This man insulted you, and we're not gonna leave until he apologizes.
It's okay.
Hey, we got a problem here.
No.
Yeah, we got a big problem. Your friend here really insulted my friend, and he needs to apologize.
I don't think he does.
He doesn't. Oh, you know what, man? Sir.
I like how he
Oh,
likes
that's where
it.
they
Yeah,
cut.
someone
Weird. They could have cut this.
He's like,
front
oh,
part.
I'm about to. Now I can really enjoy beating the hell out of you guys,
Hitman.
because you pulled that gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I
During
don't
No
mind.
Way Out 2003, William Regal suffered a concussion in the ring. During the match, Kane picked him up for a routine slam, but when
Oh,
Regal
God,
hit the
slams him on
mat,
his
he got
head.
knocked out.
Ouch.
Oh shit, that sucks, bro.
Looking a little bit groggy.
Yeah.
Look at, he's not even having to try.
What is he
Oblivious to everything
doing?
that was going on around him, Regal nonetheless managed to finish the match as planned.
That's
What a
scary,
play.
dude.
During No Way Out 2000.
Why didn't they just let him? Oh, I guess they weren't supposed to win, but
No,
you give him
yeah.
the finish at that point.
No, dude. That's crazy.
I remember that happened once, and Chris Jericho was there. The guy rolled his ankle and like couldn't move, and so they go and he covers him up, and the ref goes to do the 3, and he stops on 2.5, and Chris Jericho was like, "What are you doing?" He didn't kick out. He's like, "He's fucking hurt." Can't you see? And starts flipping out on the ref.
Oh, cool.
He's like, "He's fucking hurt." Blah,
Good
blah.
for him.
And then so the ref says
Yeah.
disqualification. Blah blah. It's pretty crazy the shit that behind the scenes where
Yeah.
you have no idea until after the fact. You're like,
Because
he
you don't know
got
what's acting. And
knocked out. Yeah.
Who knows what what they're
dude,
planning.
That's why I think wrestling's sort of fun. Is there's nothing like it. There's nothing on the planet like it. Tell me what other sport where you train in college and then for the pro version, it's completely different from like NBA.
It's not even anything close.
Yeah, college ball, you get there and then you get to the NBA and it's just like now it's the best of the best against you. But this, you're an amateur wrestler now. Now you have to be an actor with a
Do
gimmick.
they even
and
recruit
fake-
wrestlers from college? I didn't even know they
100%,
did that. I thought it was
100%,
all actors that were just big or. I didn't know they even recruited real wrestlers. That's funny.
Yeah,
I never knew that.
Well, that's adds to your gimmick.
There was like a show, a reality show where they would show people trying out to become wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they'd go through the whole process and they'd come up with bits and they'd come up with their whole character and choreography and stuff. And a lot of them weren't wrestlers. They were just people that gym rats that were big.
Yeah.
Like the women too. Yeah.
See, but yeah.
They had to learn the moves. They were in the show. They would teach them the moves.
See, yeah, that happens. So there's examples of that where it's just like, oh, they find a hot girl, like that one show on Total Divas. There was one girl on Total Divas.
Are they twins or something? Is that what it is?
Them two. That was their gimmick though. That's why they became wrestlers. They did like wrestling growing up and shit though.
Okay.
But anyway, that girl, she never wrestled, never heard of it. She was just hot with big tits and like, hey, you want to wrestle? Like, sure. And she was garbage. But no, there's girls like Saraya who were part of the Knight family. There's a movie called Wrestling with My Family.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that's The Rock's in it too.
The Rock's
really
in it.
good.
Yeah, he helps produce it. It's a good flick.
I liked that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's based on a real story about this chick Saraya who's so hot. And
did she play herself or no?
No.
It was an actress.
What's her name? Who plays Fute? Who plays Black Widow's sister?
Oh, cool.
Plays her.
Yeah, I like her. She's
Yelena
really
Belovich.
good. Yeah. Yelena,
Paget Fute. What's her freaking name? Anyway,
I don't know.
It's something just like that. But so there's some people like her family taught her how to wrestle, so her whole life all she knew was wrestling.
Yeah.
And there's
she didn't even want to be a wrestler, right? It was kind of like something that she
it was like a family thing. Yeah. But now she's over at AEW doing it. Anyway, then there's other people like Kurt Angle or Chad Gable. These guys who were Kurt Angle was an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
So that was his thing. He wore the gold medal out to the ring and shit. And then Chad Gable was, just a good wrestler. They have him. So yeah, I mean, there's both. There's you have the physique, you have the look, you have the height, or you're part of this Samoan family where like the Rock's family, everybody in his family is a pro wrestler.
That's
or
funny.
was at one point.
Yeah.
Rikishi, him, the Usos.
Yeah, I could see that being like a family thing, just like acting. Yeah.
All of them. So Roman Reigns, the guy who's like one of the champions right now, he's a cousin. They're all fucking related, dude. It's this whole family since the beginning of the WWF.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool beans. So you were saying?
Yeah. So we'll get back to Agartha. So we're talking Hollow Earth. We're talking Shambhala, Shangri-La, Garden of Eden. These are all the names of Agartha, the Inner Earth.
So
theory.
these are all the same. These are all the names of the same place.
It's all the same place.
Or these are all names of the places within Inner Earth.
Yeah, there are. So on the map, there's believed to be different areas, but it's all one thing, ruled by one king and inhabited by one people. It's not like you have this group over here and this group. They are all.
Oh, you want to travel to Agartha
unit.
today from?
Right, Agartha is kind of the overarching name where it comes from Hinduism. But yeah, so modern mentions of the Hollow Earth and what proof do we have in recent times, right? I've mentioned 1700s, 1800s. I've gone all the way back to ancient history. We went just recently to 1908. G.E. Kincaid finds hieroglyphics that aren't Egyptian, but very close next to a statue of Buddha and ancient smelting tools in the Grand Canyon, and that is said to be one of the entrances, right?
Those are Yiddish, right? The smelting tools?
I don't know.
No, I'm being funny.
But so in recent times, there was a group in the 30s and 40s called the Vril Society. Does this ring any bells for you?
Oh, the 1930s and 40s. Yeah.
Yeah, so this was a group that was created by a Nazi, by a German general at the time.
Let's use that word as little as possible.
That's true. Well, for this, it's going to be hard, but I will try.
Let's call them the Z's.
Okay. Well, anyway, at the time he was just a German.
You can use it like one or two more times.
Yeah, I don't need to use it a lot
because we need to make a short maybe out of it or something.
Right. So a German general. And this was based on a book that was released in like 1847, and it was anonymously released. A man who said that he was, in contact with these beings from inner Earth that had this power source called the Vril. It was like a liquid.
What was this man's name?
That wrote the book is anonymous.
Oh, I thought this was the guy. Okay, sorry, different story.
But we might get to what you're talking about.
I know what you're.
Yeah. So this German general, he created this secret society called the Vril Society. They were in search of this power source because it was said to be able to be used as a propulsion for advanced craft. Yeah. It was able to destroy entire countries.
It was a weapon, and
it was also, it would give you superhuman abilities. You could use it for all kinds of mystical.
They made a movie called Raiders
telekinesis,
of the Lost Ark
all of this. Yeah. So the Vril Society, Hitler loved this idea, and he actually sent expeditions all around the world looking for entrances to inner Earth. It was believed that the Aryans were from a planet in the Taurus constellation. He had this advisor named Maria Orsic. She was a medium, and she was part of their big occult practices that the Nazi party. I really don't have to say it again after that.
Yeah.
Really.
I've always had a question about Orsic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, I was always thinking, like, is she crazy or sick?
She's definitely sick, but she believed that she was in contact with these inhabitants of inner Earth. And they told her that they were from the constellation Taurus. Yeah. And that there is a wormhole on their planet that comes in through Antarctica. And that they built a civilization in inner Earth at the entrance in Antarctica. So we know for a fact that the Nazis sent expeditions to Antarctica. And when they were there, they found vast cave systems.
So here's my theory real quick.
Go ahead.
So you know how before we were saying that they would go to these people and they try and share their knowledge and they'd be like, you Westerners, you're so stupid.
Yeah, these were the Easterners. This is a different group, though, just to make sure I make that distinction. These are an alien race.
These would still be considered Westerners. Germans?
No. I'm saying the emissaries that would come to Westerners were represented Hindu, Eastern ideals.
Different.
This is a group supposedly from another planet that came through a wormhole that inhabited an area of inner Earth through an entrance in Antarctica. And these would be the type of people you'd have in inner Earth. They are tall, white, live forever. They're blonde. They are called the Aryans.
Blonde hair, blue-eyed.
Right? They have access to power sources and propulsion systems. They have advanced craft.
Okay.
And they have a city that you can get to through an entrance in Antarctica. And Hitler sent expeditions to find it, he sent expeditions to Tibet to find an entrance there, the Arctic. And just in 2016, we found a Nazi operating base in the Arctic that we didn't know was there. So this stuff is real.
In the Arctic or in Antarctica?
No, in the Arctic, in the north. Okay. Now, in 1946, there is a group of U-2 submarines, right? These were Hitler's U-2 submarines that at the end of the war ended up in South America. They were missing for 2 months. When they got to South America, they were seized, and the people on the U-boats were arrested. And they talked. They said, where were we? We were in Antarctica, dropping off about 2,000 scientists and the big man himself. And there is no evidence of Hitler ever being killed. We have none of that evidence. There was supposedly a body and a skull cap. That DNA tested as a woman. So we have nothing to prove that Hitler actually died that day. There is nothing. These guys say that they took him and 2,000 of his best scientists to Antarctica.
I forgot to make
this is in 46.
That's for Felicity.
So in 46, they say, okay, if this is what's going on, let's send an expedition to Antarctica to find them. So the Secretary of Defense, James Forrestal. This is a name, if you're in the UFO community or you like that subject, you've heard this name before. He was the first Secretary of Defense ever, and he had a lot to do with like the Roswell cover-up and some other things like that, right? But he got his. So he sends Admiral Byrd to Antarctica with a fleet of ships, weapons, and about 1,000 troops, and says, now, officially, we were there for scientific expedition, but they brought weapons and ships, gunships. They go there. They're supposed to be gone for about 8 months.
Scientific.
When Byrd comes back, he says something weird. He's interviewed, and he says, we don't want to go to war with this new enemy. There's a new enemy that can fly from pole to pole instantly. He says this in 47. Okay, this expedition started in 46. It was about 7 months long. It was supposed to be 8, and they came back in February of 47. And on his way back, they stop in South America and then head back to the Pentagon to debrief. He makes that statement, which people thought was strange. Who is this new enemy that can fly from pole to pole? He's sworn to silence in the Pentagon. This is called Operation Highjump. For people that are in the UFO community, you'll know this one. It's the expedition of Admiral Byrd to Antarctica. The official story being scientific expedition, but what did he say happened when he got there? We know because his diary was released after his death by his son.
To his son.
Yeah. So in his diary, he tells us what actually happened in Antarctica.
Tell the official story first.
No, that's it. Is they said they went there for a scientific expedition and they left a month early.
Yes, that's the part I want
for no reason
to touch on.
Yeah.
So they go for the scientific expedition. What they bring,
and they come back with less men and less planes.
And they come back. Yes.
Yeah. People died there. And
they come back early with less men.
Yeah, and less
planes.
So what happened?
So
the diary tells a very different story than a scientific expedition. What he says is that Chase, I love this issue. I knew you'd like this one. Yeah. Right. So this is what he says happened. Admiral Byrd, an American admiral that was sent to Antarctica to root out Nazis.
Nazis in Antarctica.
Right. Wild. And it's not that wild because we just found a base of theirs in the North Pole. So it's not wild at all. And there's actual documentation that they did do expeditions to Antarctica.
And we know
they did.
Hitler was all into this shit.
Oh, yeah. They were into the occult, and they believe that the Aryans actually came from inner Earth. People believe of an entrance to inner Earth and in Antarctica. So all this tracks. There's nothing weird about any of this yet.
Yeah.
So what he does is he gets on one of these planes and he starts flying over a certain area in Antarctica.
But he brings with him. I'm setting you up.
I don't actually even know what you mean.
Gunships?
No. Wait, I'm talking about him flying. They're in Antarctica already.
Oh, you got to mention that.
Yeah, we did.
We didn't.
What? Yeah, they took a whole
you said
fleet
the official
and
story,
men.
But yes, they're bringing weapons. They're bringing.
Right. I did mention all that. Yeah.
Okay.
They brought gunships for a science expedition.
Yeah. Weird.
Right.
Yeah.
So in his actual diary, he talks about a specific day where something interesting happens. He gets on one of these planes and he flies over some of the areas of Antarctica. They're looking for something, right? He's searching for something, not the remaining remnants of Hitler's guys, right? Yeah. This was going to be their backup plan.
Of Hitler's
possibly,
guys. That's
right?
That's you not saying that.
Yeah. The
word.
party name. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say the letter word, but I don't want to.
That doesn't work either.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's flying over and he starts to see green fields and grass. And all of a sudden he looks and his thermometer shows it's actually now 74 degrees instead of freezing temperatures like it should be. Instead of sheets of ice, he's now over green fields. So he thinks that's pretty interesting. And then he sees an animal and he writes all this in his diary.
It's all in his diary, yeah.
It's a giant animal. And he realizes that's a woolly mammoth. How is this possible? And he keeps going. But
it's
then,
the Savage Land from X-Men.
Yeah, there you go, Savage Shadow. So yeah, his instruments start spinning and he loses control of his ship. And then he sees silently 3 disc-shaped craft come up and begin to escort him through this green field into a cave system, and he cannot control his plane. They're taking him right in. Yeah.
And they got a cool little emblem on the side.
Yeah, so when he looked at the plane, when the disc-shaped craft got closer, he realized that there were swastikas on these craft. Not the ones that they were expecting, though.
Not the party from Germany.
The swastika is a very ancient symbol, and it actually has deep ties to Hinduism and Shambhala and their beliefs. And that was more the symbol that he saw on these sides of these craft.
Yeah, in Hinduism, it means like rebirth or peace. It's like
peace.
the opposite of like that part
of anything horrible. Yeah, it was a peaceful emblem.
Yeah.
They take him into this city that he describes as like a crystal city within the earth, underneath the sheets of ice.
City.
Pretty much.
Krypton, baby.
When he gets, when they land, these people approach him, and these people are blonde, tall,
Aryans,
and white, and they resemble, if you're familiar with different types of aliens, they resemble what are called the Nordics. The Nordic aliens are very, they're known for one specific thing. They like to get involved in nuclear weapons. They try and tell us, stop using nuclear weapons. Don't use these. This is bad. What you're doing to your planet is wrong. This has been their message. And there's, if you want to dive deeper into that rabbit hole, there are tons of instances where they've been around nuclear sites and nuclear disasters and helped prevent them from being worse.
My theory is that it's not selfless or hey guys,
it's not a humanitarian effort to prevent war.
You're messing up our instruments. When you set off a nuke, it tears a hole in time space, and you actually killed my buddy Fred, who was going through a wormhole, and then you set off a nuke, and now he's gone.
Well, what if you were from inner Earth and there were nuclear weapons going off over you?
Yeah,
that would be just as awful.
Yeah,
and probably cause damage to your city.
Yeah, I think
that could be true.
I think it's not.
Yeah.
It's
well, that's their message to him. They say, so we keep an eye on mankind and the surface world.
Chernobyl incident.
Yeah. That's another where the Nordics had shown up. Chernobyl would have been 10 times worse, but there were reports that during the meltdown, a UFO flew overhead and actually cooled one of the cores that they weren't able to cool it themselves.
They couldn't have done themselves.
It was too late. Everything, they had lost control of the
And if you've
facility.
seen the show Chernobyl, they even explained it's too late. Nothing could have been done at this point.
It's over.
This is the end.
But a UFO shows up and something prevents it from being worse. And because of the Nordics message, they believe that the Nordic UFOs were the cause of this.
They quelled it a little bit.
Exactly, to prevent it, from being as bad as it was.
Why? That's the question.
Right. So if it's a selfish motive, then I could see why they would fly over there and get involved.
Sure.
But that's their message to Bird. They say, we keep an eye on your technology, and you're playing with something that man wasn't ever meant to play with. Right? And you need to stop. I want you to go back to your world governments and tell them this message. That the nuclear weapon detonation needs to end.
Yeah.
And that's it. And they let him go free with that message back to his president.
But he wrote that they weren't doing it in a threatening way, right?
It was not threatening. No.
It was just like, guys, stop.
Yeah. We were trying to help you.
Check it out.
Exactly.
Listen. Yeah.
This is a mission of mercy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
come from Mitch and Murray.
So yeah, this is that's Admiral Byrd's telling of what actually happened. When he gets to the Pentagon, he's silenced, but not before saying there is a new enemy that if we engage has the ability to fly from pole to pole instantly.
Yeah.
And they have these advanced crafts that he would have seen with his own eyes, and they took control of his. So that's a dangerous enemy to get involved with. So that takes us up into the 40s. And again, the Vril Society, dig into that if you're into this stuff. That is very real. We have a lot of evidence of what they were into and what their ideals were, and it matches up perfectly with Byrd's telling of the beings he met in Antarctica. So that's extremely interesting. Yeah. Honestly, I could make connections all day. I mean, just the Native American connections alone. I think before I end the segment, the 2 points I really want to end with are every Native American tribe, they tell of these types of this inner earth story where they came out of the ground and that was the beginning of their civilization. Some believe that all life came from under the ground. If this was post-cataclysm, it would seem that way, right? That everyone hiding from this cataclysm in this inner earth as they began to emerge in different areas around the world and start new civilizations on the surface, that would be your creation story.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested in this topic and you want to hear more, let us know. Sound off in the comments. Sound off in the chat.
Plenty. Yeah.
Because there's so much, and we can even do like an edited video with pictures and graphics.
Yeah.
And
that'd be really cool.
Cool. We could do sort of a Y-Files type of thing, where just a nice little highlight video, but we'll put all that cool stuff in.
But the last point, just before I end, is the Buddhist tradition. The story was that one day Shambhala would reveal itself again. And they would reveal itself when mankind was ready. And that's been their tale forever, all the way back to the ancient texts, that Shambhala will one day reveal itself when mankind is ready, when they have peace in their hearts.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
I know that we're not ready now, so it makes a lot of sense that we can't find any of this stuff and that the entrances aren't being revealed to us. But if it does exist, and just like the flood myth, they all say this is real. They don't talk about it like a mythical place. They talk about it like it's a real place.
Yeah.
And it's believed to be real to this day to people practicing these religions.
Mhm.
So yeah, I believe obviously we're not ready yet, but it's amazing that if this place does exist, that there's heaven on earth.
Heaven is a place on earth. Ooh, baby, there's something words. Heaven is a place on earth.
But yeah, that's all I got for today on Shambhala. I really liked this one.
Heaven's not a place that you go when you die. It's
Heaven's
that
not-
moment in life when you actually feel alive.
What a good song.
Great song.
What a great line, actually. The guy that
Yeah.
wrote that was like, oh my God.
He's like,
I
yep,
can't believe I
we
just
got him. Yeah.
I have to show you guys this.
Yeah.
I wrote it on the tour bus.
I gotta.
It's also
That's good.
I gotta. There
Right.
it is. Guys, we gotta on our hands. So one more short.
Yeah.
And then
But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Mackenzie. I appreciate that. Yeah, fun stuff.
wow, I didn't even hit that drop. That's the audience. You're stupid.
I like that one.
William Regal had a fucking.
You have a good grasp of the
Oh,
physics.
3. What a year.
I'm not gonna.
You have a believer in the
That's
studio
Andrew
right now.
Schultz.
Okay.
Do you really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, so
That's
no,
Charlemagne the
100%
God.
believes in
What is
it.
that? But you know why I believe in Bigfoot? Because of like mooses. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus.
You're like, my God.
They're used to dealing with wolves. If they think you're a threat, they just run up on you and say,
Wolves
crazy.
are probably the
Why
most
don't you
brilliant
believe in
animals
Bigfoot?
there are, man. They're
well,
freaking
I actually did a
brilliant.
television show where I went hunting for them.
Moose.
You were
is-
gonna do it on Finding Bigfoot.
No.
Which
I
one?
did a show called Joe Rogan Questions Everything. We spent a whole week in the Pacific Northwest talking to Bigfoot hunters.
Yeah.
We camped out there. Me and Duncan Trussell went and interviewed
Duncan.
scientists
Good
and interviewed
stuff. I
all
knew
these
I
different
liked Joe.
archaeologists, all these different people that didn't
Bigfoot's
believe and
got a
did
lot of
believe.
evidence, man.
It was a real animal at one point in time.
Yes, I don't think it exists now. I think it existed. It's just a
Wow,
primate.
people see it every day still.
You have a believer.
There's videos
in
on
the
YouTube
studio
every
right-
day.
I don't know if they see it every day.
Yeah, well, there's videos like posted constantly about.
You believe
Bigfoot
Bigfoot's
sightings.
walking around the earth right now?
Oh yeah, come on.
That's crazy.
No, there's too much evidence to say, dude. I don't believe that it's like some mindless animal. I think it's actually a conscious being. It's just a different type of being. That's why it's able to evade detection. That's why it can hide. That's why it can bury its dead.
And then just
That's
every
why it
now
can
and
hide
then,
evidence.
it decides.
Yeah, well, it never looks like it decides. It looks like it's caught like unknowingly.
Not like one
"Ah."
video I saw, and it's literally the most compelling video because it looks the most real.
Okay.
And it's, you're like, oh, they're dumb. He's like walking past, like these people are celebrating Christmas, and he's fucking there stomping past.
I don't know, man. That sounds fake
And
to
like,
me.
oh my
They don't
God,
sound
what the
stupid.
heck?
They seem very.
And the dog's out there
there's-
barking.
How many stories are guys telling where they're being thrown? The rocks and stuff are being thrown at them to drive them out of certain areas. They don't want to draw attention. They don't want to kill somebody and bring the law or bring investigators. They just want to get you away. They're pretty
If they're
smart.
like the most peaceful, like sweetie
They
pies.
seem very peaceful.
Like they're throwing rocks, and then like the guy like pops up behind him. And he, like,
Oh, that would be funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, oh my gosh, like guys, you gotta get out of here.
Why'd you scare me like that?
What do you
Yeah, that's
do
funny.
that? Yeah, they're Chris Tucker in Fifth Element.
Yeah, that'd be
Why
funny.
you gotta come up and scare me?
Yeah. It like pulls up its fur legs and runs off like a skirt. Yeah.
That'd be the greatest.
After Kane helped Mr. McMahon.
Man,
win
you
his
love
very live
wrestling,
match-
dude.
It's just I like
Look at this.
combat sports. Oh, Omni-Man.
I haven't seen this show.
Wait, what?
I haven't. Look at this. Ow. Oh, jeez. What
dude,
the
Invincible.
hell?
Go binge it tonight. It's the dopest show.
He looks very Shazam. Not Shazam. What's the other one?
Superman.
No, the other one. Not Shazam. The Dark Shazam.
Oh, Black Adam.
Yeah, Black Adam. The evil one.
He's like Superman. And he's beating the fuck out
Yeah,
of
but Superman
Justice
don't do
League
this
right now,
kind of stuff.
basically. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Dude, this is the
killing
show.
everybody.
This is the show. It's
yeah,
so
just
good.
constant bloody beatings.
Yeah.
Ow.
And so this is the guy who's supposed to be like a Captain America type, right?
Oh, yeah, this is crazy.
That was.
well, this is probably ruining the show for me anyway.
No, you won't even remember this. And this happened so early on.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's great.
I'm gonna ask you this one time. Where is Gamora?
I'll do you one better.
Who is
Gamora?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Do you one better?
Why
is Gamora?
Tell me where the girl is, or I swear to you, I'm gonna French fry this little freak.
Let's do it. You shoot my guy and I'll blast him. Let's go.
Let's go. I love this.
I can take
Yeah, I
No,
can
he
take it.
can't.
No, he
That's right.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to tell me where she is? That's fine. I'll kill all three of you and I'll beat it out of Thanos myself. Starting with you.
What, Thanos? All right, let me ask you this one time. What master do
What
you serve?
master do you serve?
What am I supposed to say, Jesus?
What a question.
You're from Earth. I'm from Earth. I'm from Missouri. Yeah, that's on Earth, dipshit.
Yeah.
What are you from us for?
You're not with Thanos.
With Thanos?
What a
The
moment.
editing's funny.
Watching this in the theaters for the first time, I was like, oh my God, all my dreams
I'm
are
seeing the
coming
Guardians
true.
with Spider-Man,
Yeah.
with Doctor Strange, with fucking Iron
All
Man.
my dreams have come true. This
You
is
know
it.
Thor.
Dude, the Planet Titan group is the best. That is like all of my favorite characters working together.
Really?
Oh, Star-Lord, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Strange. Those are my favorite MCU characters.
Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say this once.
Yeah, well,
On
I know
Earth,
who you like. Yeah.
We got Cap,
Yep. Winter
Panther,
Soldier. Yeah.
Winter Soldier,
Yep.
Black Widow.
Yep. And even Thor makes an appearance.
Well, hold on, Black Widow.
Yeah.
The Hulk.
No, you don't have the Hulk. You've got his suit with the Hulk, with
Bruce
Banner
Banner's the
in
Hulk,
it. He's
yeah.
not the Hulk, though. He never hulks. So you don't have
Okay,
the Hulk.
we have Bruce Banner.
No, you have, what's it called? What's that? Well, yeah, what's the big one called?
Hulkbuster.
Hulkbuster. You got the Hulkbuster,
So we have
which
the
is still the
Hulk.
sickest thing.
So we have the
but
Hulk.
it's not as strong as the Hulk.
We have the Hulk, and
Again.
then we have Thor,
Yeah, and then when Thor shows up, that's the moment.
and we
Oh,
have
like,
Rocket and
oh.
Groot. Dude, that's the team. Earth team.
That's
the
cool.
team.
It's a good team. Falcon, too. It's a good team, but it's not Titan's team. For me,
And War Machine. Dude,
I'm Team
dude,
Iron Man
No,
all the way.
Team Wakanda's the best.
it's
Okay, you
not.
just cemented it for me.
It's not, though.
Team
Yeah,
Wakanda
dude.
is the best. No, can I be honest? The Russos did
I
it
feel like
perfectly.
you are,
Both
yeah.
teams are perfect.
Yeah, it's true. They balance
Don't change a
them
fucking
really
thing.
well.
If you had Gamora or Quill or anybody, or Gamora's dead, but if you had Nebula or Quill,
Nebula,
or
too.
dude, her
What a
coming
good
in
team.
with the
Yeah,
ship,
that's the best.
But if you had anybody else on either team, it
Mantis.
would have fucked. Winter Soldier in space, no thanks.
yeah,
The
I like
Falcon
that they
up there,
even
no.
separated the Guardians.
Black Panther, no,
yeah,
no thanks.
They gave you Rocket with Thor.
Groot and Rocket
Groot.
went out.
Yeah,
So the morons will go,
Ooh,
to
yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, me and the space god will go to, whatever.
yeah, that's funny.
So good.
The space guy. What do they call him? He's like a when they're he's
It's
passed
like if a
out.
pirate had sex with an angel.
Yeah, with an angel. Yeah, a pirate and an angel. That's so funny because the iPad is perfect, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
those are the best movies.
His muscles are like
Yeah, like
Gamorrean too. Whatever.
fiber. Yeah, it's like steel fibers or something.
Stop massaging his muscles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mantis, wake him up.
I love how he does the voice too.
Yeah.
No, you are
you're
not.
copying me. Yeah.
No, you
He's
will
copying
not.
me. He's copying me. He's so good. Yeah.
He's still doing.
yeah. He's trying to impersonate me. Yeah. So good.
Oh man,
Yeah.
best movies. Ah, they killed.
The rabbit is right, and clearly the smartest among you.
Yeah, the rabbit.
So good. I love that everybody calls him something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. In this movie,
Makes it.
he's called something cool. You'll see.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. But so
Yeah.
that's dope shit, my dude. So that's
Yeah.
the show, guys.
That was
Love you
fun.
so much. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, may the world be your oyster. I don't know.
Yeah.
Guys, you
Hell
rock.
yeah.
We love you so much. Make sure to hit that like, comment, subscribe, visit our Patreon. We have cool content up there. We just posted a trailer for the
Yeah,
whole
check that
podcast.
out.
Go
That's
check
cool,
that out,
man.
and go do. So, guys, from all of us here at TPTNS, we love you so much.
Yes, we do.
From Jared, the handsome and always knowledgeable.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Please like and subscribe. It helps us so much. Thank you for everybody in the chat today. And again, Cameron said, if you like this content, if you like this topic, let us know. We can do a part 2 to it, or we can do something else and mix some cool stuff in. So let us know what you like.
Most deaf. Let us know what you like. What's being said?
Chase says this is binge worthy.
Let's go, boy.
Yeah.
For shizzle. So glad he thinks so. So, guys, we love you. We appreciate you.
do.
Thank you so much. Make sure you hit all the buttons. You go to all the stuff. You do all the stuff. You know what you do.
Yeah.
And make sure you go to the Patreon and make sure you turn notifications on. Anyway, we love you guys so much. Be cool. Stay safe.
Yeah.
And we will see you Thursday for Crash Talk. Laters.
Laters.